We're live and we're early, but not early because I scheduled it for 3. We're fine.
So those that are UK normal expect us to be later. Haha, surprise! But also, we told you early because, yeah. We're early, guys. Season starter to give you the time to have your say. Best case, as in often you guys will super chat your thoughts, comments, questions. You'll just have so much to say. And we often give that like a solid 40 minutes at the start. So this is the leeway we have. So put your thoughts in. Let's see how much energy and love Stranger Worlds has. It's your time before we get into the review. And any support is greatly appreciated. YouTube is currently not a friend to many right now, so be a pal. Help us out through these days. Enjoy the Lego video from yesterday.
Indeed.
How you doing,
Dante
Stuart?
DeGraff says 07s. Okay. I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. How are you doing?
Yeah, all good. We've got our cast party, the summer party, tomorrow. I feel pretty prepped for it. There's always more you can do, but that's just doing extra stuff, so it's good. It's good.
Good.
I've been happy about our scheduling this week. You and me, that's worked quite well. Play the way we did.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. Still a lot of stuff coming up in the next few weeks, but hey, we'll figure it out.
But at least we get 10. We get to just...
Yeah.
Exciting.
Yeah.
I'm going to start sharing, see you in a minute. And hopefully, guys,
Right.
I want to come back and see like 10 super chats or PayPals. I want people's opinions. I want to know what you think. Because remember, this is in recorded posterity. This is the official Trekyards ranking and what you think. So, see you in a second.
All right, guys, hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Make sure you're notified. Do all the things you need to do. And help us in any way you can. Much appreciated on that front. PayPal, super chat in, whatever you got to do. I appreciate it. Sam appreciates it. We are going to have fun and, do the things. So click the links down below. There are links to the Teespring and the Dashery store. Yeah, let's get things underway here. As soon as Sam is done sharing, we will talk about it. Hey, Trekyards, you see Factory Entertainment's TOS bridge set? Yes, indeed, we did. Yeah. So anyway, I was waiting for Sam, and then we will get into this. And I really am excited to talk about this one. So yes, indeed. Bum bum bum. Good to see you, Olivia. Devo, Bill, Trilobite, Devo. Oh, I said Devo already. Sean, Dante. Welcome, guys. Welcome. Dante is not a familiar name here, so welcome. Huge scale Airwolf. Nice. Yeah. I don't know what's taking Sam so long, so I apologize. Whoop, there he is. So we're going to kick things off with a bang. We got 2 PayPals.
A big bang, kind of like the asteroid.
Oh. John Ford Jr. sends in $100, so thank you.
That's quite a lot.
Says, I was pleasantly surprised with the overall quality of the writing and returning to more Trek feeling episode. I was initially concerned with Pike trying to help the Martians communicate with the Doldrum due to the Temporal Prime Directive. The ultimate twist that the... And then a second PayPal of another $100, so thank you so much, John. Enterprise's antimatter is what triggered the formative events in our solar system. Was Trek near its best? Pinnacle Temporal Paradox. I am cautiously optimistic of more episodes of this caliber in the show's remaining run leading into TOS, hoping for a fitting 60th tribute. Yes, indeed, John. Futures Enterprise is promising that title, so we will have to see how they end it out, but yeah. And thank you very much for the super chats, the PayPals. Those are amazing.
To be clear, John, you just saved our month. So, and thank you for PayPal and super chatting, because that would have been such a huge percentage of that. So, you get a salute. But people in the live chat, don't have it just be on John, our great koala savior sometimes. Put your thoughts in. We rely on everybody.
Well, Olivia throws in $2 and says, "Dang it, they blew up Sam's homeworld."
Yeah.
She's calling you an arachnid insectoid, I guess.
Oh, well, they, well, okay, I can't say that. That's just harsh. Yeah, yeah. I want to know you guys' thoughts. Put in your 5s, 2s, 3s, etc., etc. I want to know. I want to know. So, Stuart.
Yes, that's my name.
Season 4, episode 1. Been a while. How do you feel now? I know how you feel. But, how do you feel now after watching it more than once? Because unlike the old TOS reviews, you've seen it before. This is truly, we're back to first reaction, so we both have a visceral sense. How do you feel now? And how do you feel for first reaction with the wonderful audience? How do you feel now? What do you think?
I've seen it 3 times now, and I still absolutely love it. I think it's a fantastic episode. It is one of the best of Star Trek, the best that Star Trek has to offer.
Pop, spring, fireworks. I hope Anson Mount's watching this, or Akiva Gosman or Alex Kurtzman, because you just, you know what I mean? You just, and this is not making fun of you, just like the fact that they as a group made a now top tier, in your opinion, of all Trek. So whenever we credit, compared to modern Trek, whatever point scale, we just upped them by 0.1. You know what I mean? So well done. Seriously, in Stuart's brain. We'll get to me later. Sorry, go.
I'm sending you something on. You got to read on Messenger. Anyway.
Oh no. It'd be so bad, isn't it? All right.
Anyway, so yeah, absolutely phenomenal. First episode was really fantastic. The stakes were so high. It was a very dense episode. The first 13 minutes before the opening credits was like, what is happening? A little too much there, but that could have been altered in my opinion. Other than that, it was fantastic. Everybody had something to do. The stakes were high. It was a really good twist, and it just kind of fed into a lot of things I'm interested in, like dinosaurs and the fifth planet theory and stuff like that. And just to have it be like a predestination paradox, phenomenal. And Pike's decision making in that was great. Again, he went on a hunch, didn't have any facts or anything necessarily. So I love the way that it kind of all came together, and they had to be there, and it's awesome. So that's what I got to say about the episode. Phenomenal. What else is there to say? There might be 1 or 2 little nitpicks, but that's about it. So, yeah. How about you, Sam?
Well, how does it change multiple viewings? Because
just gets better and better.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think it doesn't change at all for me, really.
It was never going to get worse, but it was about if it gets less impressive or the pace changes specifically, those things. I found it was quite a different second watch, or I guess we had 2 watches.
That'll be interesting. All right, well, I want to hear about it. Tell me about how you feel now after watching it a second time.
Well, I think we have Olivia once again, because Super Chats and PayPals interrupt us. So we do encourage it.
$5 from Olivia. Sean Ferrick said it best about Sam. Oh boy, a British voice were saved.
She was British, the lady, Martian.
Yes, she did sound British.
I thought she was kind of doing a slightly well-spoken accent, but I didn't clock as being British specifically.
British.
Okay,
it was British.
It's just person, right? It's just hi, yes, welcome back. It's a good episode. I'm less enamored than Stuart, but we all have our yums. I'm not going to yuck his 10 out of 10, one of the best of Trek, and I love that for you. That's fantastic. Not quite that for me, but that's an insane bar, right? What'd be interesting though, Stuart? I'm excited if this season has now peaked. Because you know what I mean. Like this should in theory be the best of the season, unless something cooler comes out, because there's good in different ways. So for me, damn solid episode. It's enjoyable. It's much better on second rewatch, and also less interesting in second rewatch or rewatch for various reasons. It's a really weird first watch, and I love the fact that I got unspoiled. And this is a kind of also an indictment on modern Trek. When Discovery seasons 1, 2, and Summer 3 came out, people actually talked about it on social media. And Picard season 1 and 2, I couldn't go on Facebook until I watched it with you and reviewed it. I couldn't because people talked about it. Now, no one talks about Strange New Worlds at all. No one talks about Academy. No one has anything to say. So there's no chance of spoilers. So that sense of like, it's going to have a no. So I check Facebook, whatever, I talk to you, whatever. I'm just noting how it's interesting how that's all changed. So first watch, no spoilers. The episode really came to life just like in the recent Lower Deck season where Data appears, like that, the moment it came to life when it's revealed it's not just a fun alien world with dinosaurs, it's the fun alien world with our dinosaurs. It instantly grounds it in a real sense of stakes that you need. That said, and the second watch becomes thoroughly apparent, I felt minus stakes in the second watch,
Mm-hmm.
and the end was a bit more disingenuous. I mean, most shows aren't meant for multiple watching, so that's fair enough. First time, it's absolutely fine. But second time, the way they present it is a bit like, well, that's not. You're really giving a weird spin on this with actually how I'm perceiving it, but I also perceive time travel differently, I suppose, being on the outside looking in and also seeing all of Trek, because they're living in their own bubble, right? And certainly when you get to TNG, Voyager, DS9, time travel has different rules. This is the beginning of that. So I am fine with them being different, but I see all of Trek. So
Yeah.
I see the ending kind of different to they see it, but it's fine. It's just interesting to rewatch then with that in post Hine forethought.
You do realize that there wouldn't be any Trek if Pike didn't do what he did. So this is the most important
I
episode
do.
of Star Trek ever.
I do. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just putting that out there.
Yeah. Yeah. I also realise, and we're going to have to get into this, Stuart, that I guess they're de-retconning, canoning the size of the ship because the MSD had only so many decks.
Yeah, and the deck count was wrong, by the way.
Excellent. But you know what I mean? It's had, unless the decks are 2 ices tall, it can't be the giant ship.
Well, the schematic was right, but where the dot was, lining up with decks 9, 8, and 7.
That's always fucking.
It's fine.
Yeah,
it's fine.
But I liked that. The first time we saw an actual side view, they've kind of avoided that because the ship doesn't make sense. I mean, the Stranger World stuff was still there, was showing how empty the ship is really. But it was like, okay, so it's not giant. We'll have to get into that because that's kind of fun to reverse it anyway. No, acting was good. It's funny how I don't think any one element excelled. I don't think any one actor excelled. I think no one part was amazing. But there's so much good and everyone backed each other up that it all kind of added. No one was left out, but very few people had a great role. The story was slow, but it had lots of stuff in it.
Mm.
So it was an interesting one. It was a really good all you can eat multinational buffet. They're not cooking anything to perfection. They really aren't. But it's a really nice meal and everyone's happy to go out and you love being able to eat some Indian and some Mexican and some Chinese, whatever. So, and I was very happy to see Pike have a starring role because he hasn't for a long time in the show feeding it. He's kind of one note most of the time, but he's a very chill captain and I'm okay with that. So he's just approaching. Yeah, he has no fear of death because he knows he can't die. He's a different sort of man, right? So fair enough. And yeah, it's just generally genuinely good, but not the best. I far more enjoyed the crossover episode with Lower Decks because it did less better. This did more good. But I don't know if what would be the, if you had to say, because I always compare to like a cherry on top. For me, there is no cherry this week. What would be your cherry that was like this bit, not just overall, but this element or this bit makes it
the meteor hitting Earth.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah. Anyway, that's great. Yeah, I'm looking forward to talking about it because it's exciting.
Yeah. There's one more paper, which is fantastic. And guys, put in your thoughts. We really want to hear them.
Let's see.
So
We've
poll in a
got
second as well.
$2 from Classic For Real. This is Classic For Real is starting to think that you're doing this on purpose, forcing me to say Stuart's right and Sam's wrong on the Lego Enterprise bridge, and Sam's right on and Stuart's wrong on the episode.
Nice to know you watch both. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Hey, we're different on
He was
everything.
in my live last night too, causing problems.
He wouldn't do that. It's funny. Marie is entirely with you on the Lego. She's like, no, it's cool and all that, but I want ships.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, but we're different people, right?
I'm not a kid. I'm not going to play with my little figures like. Ooh.
But she also said, I'll call her out for that. My fiance also said, yeah, but would they really do any other Enterprises? Because they all look the same to most people, so I don't think they could really sell to anybody. So
they're not being marketed for most people.
So I don't know if you want to. I don't know if you put your flag in the camp of siding with Marie because she also said that. I'm just saying. Her taste.
Well, I think that's.
I mean, her taste in men is terrible.
That's a wrong opinion.
Excellent.
So.
And she meant it as well. She wasn't even playing. She was just like, oh, it's like they look so different though. Well, they did argue they all are shades of grey though, which is fair enough.
Well, let's get this show on the road.
We start off with Who Cares?
Yep, horses. Who cares? Cullen Bohannon riding his horse in Hell on Wheels. It's great. Medicine talk. Nobody cares. It gets good when they beam back to the ship.
I'll give them a point if this comes up later with Pike, because they spent thousands of dollars on these costumes, thousands to rent these horses, thousands to get a location, and it's totally wasted money. It's nice. It's a nice gentle start, but I really hope they'll do this again late in the season to kind of give us. I was going to say with the way they talk about the planet, and this is like their 4th or 5th visit, it could come back later in the season. I have a feeling it will. I was kind of glad they got a lot of the trailer stuff out of the way with the horses. I didn't want a whole episode Western based, but I think we still might get that at some point, because they did make a point of saying the planet name and that they've been there a few times. This episode, second watch, it reeks of set up the episode. They're setting up so much, which is actually fine. Like, good they're doing it, but it's so this is probably set up. But it also felt
all is dust. 1442 throws in 5 pounds.
See?
And
interrupts.
Sam. I thought this week's episode was okay, good, but Lon punching a dinosaur bugged me. LOL.
Ooh.
It didn't bug me. I thought it was actually appropriate, considering that that's going to be her arc this season, and they address it right away. She broke her hand, and she has tendencies she's not used to having, and her mind's confused. I love that. I love it.
Set up. It's out of nowhere, but if you didn't have it, like I've often complained, and I think it's a rightful complaint, about them setting up plot lines the episode before, and there's no sense of build, but it's here. We've got it.
Yeah. Cool.
It's in stone, as it were. This episode is slightly reeked of Star Trek Generations, where we'll spend like $1.5 million just to put them on a boat because the cast want to, and it's just burning money for no real effect. Not that extreme, but it kind of feels like that. But also, it's a nice gentle, it's fine. It's fine. And then we get really, really horny Spock. I mean, my God.
I love that moment. You just want to see me in my outfit, didn't you? Come to my quarters.
Out of it.
These boots are hard to get off. Yeah.
The problem with this scene, I'd have had no problem if I just watched Strange Worlds, but watching TOS, that ain't fucking Spock. That is not what Spock would do. That is not Spock's personality. This is not Spock.
After La'an dies, he's going to go hardcore Spock. That's the point. That's the fucking point. I've said that for like 2 seasons now.
I know, but it's more abstract to see it like back to back. This is so un-Spock behavior, and it was fun, but it's like he now feels like a worse Spock to me, because he's doing his own thing 100%, but we'll see. But also, yay canon. I mean, yay for them to get together. It's all good. But boy, Scotty has dirt on Spock, doesn't he? He's never used,
Anyway, yeah, so Pike puts his saddle back and talks to number 1, and she's like, hey, we need a break. We've been going for months solid now. And, every once in a while we could use a weekend. I know you're trying to keep busy to keep your mind off of things, but also I'd really like to go on a away mission at some point.
You've been hogging it somehow.
Yeah. She's like, as much as I love being at the con, but, and then he's like, well, next one for sure. So. Yeah, I like that.
My only issue with that is that, Una, babe, when you say go to a planet that's 6 weeks away at warp, or 4 days away at warp, there's a lot of downtime where the crew isn't doing big important stuff. So you've had so much, by always traveling at warp places and not doing long missions, you've had so much chill time. I'm sorry. There's no chance in hell every day for every officer for 6 months. Everyone's fully busy. No chance in hell. So, not the way I was saying the way she said that. She said like a substantial bit of time. You've had lots of weekends off. That's what traveling is. So, but that's them not understanding Trek logic, because distance doesn't matter here. Fine, but that's not how that would work. But. And they never address how April gets there. And then again, I guess at the end it makes more sense because he's already nearby. But he's just sort of there. Would have been nice to have a ship exterior. 2 ships. Kind of like the Excelsior style TNG. At least not hologram. Fucking thankfully, but boy, he's going a long way to visit, isn't he?
Yeah. And we get talk of promotion.
Yep. Into a chair with 2 beeps. What?
Yeah, to Commodore. not fleet captain or anything. It's Commodore. So point that out. And then it cuts back to the turbo lift, which is Uhura and Ortigas just kind of doing chit chat, talking about things. Uhura's kind of distracted. Ortigas is complaining about Scotty adding a bunch of beeps and like warning lights to the consoles and how it annoys her. So yeah, just straightforward stuff. And then we got Uhura all excited to be a mentor to this new cadet that's coming on board, because she was a cadet not that long ago. She knows how it feels. And then it just goes downhill.
Boy,
we got T'Lyn.
Wow. T'Lyn Mark III, because we had someone else.
Yeah.
From the chat, Stanley's, who doesn't want to see Cowgirl on? And Bill, is he less Spock than JJ's at Sam? No, he's the best new Spock, but I haven't just watched Nimoy. Which I haven't done for a long time, just watched them. The contrast is more stark when you look at them back to back. Yeah, this scene's much better in second watch, because in the first watch a lot of lines can just be throwaway because that's fine. But now in second watch, you know that every single line's important in this turbo scene to set up the Tigers and Scotty love affair. That's how I take it. Bullies who love each other, or as in who'll get together. Chemistry because they have banter. That's what I took from it. So I'm seeing that lead in, which I guess is kind of fun. They've got an get out of jail free card. They can give every character a love relationship with the character who's leaving the ship, and not have it affect the canon because they're leaving the ship. Quite a unique opportunity to have, really, and not just introduce people. So I'm excited to see. I'm very fine with the teaser scene release being this scene. It's as medium as it was then as it is now. I wouldn't have been surprised if they hired the T'Lyn actress, because I know it's not, but the voice is so similar. I thought this woman probably watched Lower Decks, because I'm like, does she really need to go as hard on that exact style of Vulcan? Absolutely fine Vulcan, no complaints. We don't know that many Vulcans who are full Vulcan, so while she is obviously a mean bitch, she's not mean to be a mean bitch, and therefore
it's going to make Spock look good to the crew.
That is exactly right. You're so pleasant, Spock.
Now, the thing with this scene that I noticed on rewatches is the fucking bridge is huge.
Yes.
Time to get off the turbo lift to walk up to her. It's like, holy fuck, you're walking for like 5 minutes. The bridge is not that big. The TOS bridge is small. But anyway, small thing. But
it's what we said. The TOS bridge fits in just the railing. They got the entire extensions. I mean, it's obnoxiously big.
Yeah.
It's still beautiful, but obnoxiously big.
I think it's actually down in BC deck area, and then they eventually move it up, because that's the only way that makes sense.
They didn't think that through. So fine.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, I'm interested, but not excited to see how Vulcan goes. I hope she's not in that many episodes. In our other review, you said you hope she's do that more. Too many characters. Don't introduce new people last season. Stranger Things, you introduce 10 new characters. You don't give any legacies anything to do. So have a setup here. Give her episode 4. Kill her in episode 9. Done. Totally fine. Have a role. She's set up. We know who she is. It's all good.
Then we learned the mission that was going to be so much fun that, Admiral April said. They're going to go up and investigate or study a Category 10 interstellar squall. No planets nearby. Nothing to worry about. We're just going to observe, get a chance to chill out a little bit. So everybody's kind of stoked for it. But yeah. And then Pelia, of course, is here, and she's, well, I think I saw one once. I think it was in a phone box at the time. And this is, if you're keeping track, this third reference to Doctor Who in Strange New Worlds. She mentioned traveling with a doctor last season, and we also saw the TARDIS as well. So anyway.
It's so funny because you said that in our other review, and I was like, what are you on about? I had no idea what you were, because I read the scene because of how the anomaly looks as Pelly is a weirdo who was a druggie. So she's saying, I once saw it in a phone box while I was shooting up heroin, and I saw pretty lights in the 60s. I not for one second I thought Doctor Who, because she did drugs and she was into, yeah. But she's in the episode, and I feel like she's getting older because her accent's even more hard to understand. It's definitely getting to be a problem, but it's been a problem for a while. But she really needs to like try harder to be audible, because it's notably worse this season.
Classic for real throws in $2. Send CBS the Lego TOS bridge for proper scaling.
Ouch.
Yeah.
But then they get to the anomaly. It looks nice. Everyone's relishing in it, except the Vulcan, who, in fairness, you can't learn stuff from seeing it.
That is more relevant, yeah.
She's not wrong. Like that's the fine tune with Vulcans. They've got to be sort of technically correct, if not, everything else.
Yeah. Yeah.
They are quite close considering how dangerous it is. And I'm a little bit confused now, because now we're getting to the paradox element. So they're about to detect the buoy they send out in like an hour. But also at the end, Pike says the anomaly that we created. In what way did they create this anomaly? I didn't get that whatsoever. I just thought...
I'm not sure either. I thought about it. I assume when they returned, because the way that the explosion looked and the thing they used to return, maybe they drug it with them, and it just has been just temporarily just fucked up. I don't know.
Because Spock says the way they're linked to the other timeline, they'll ping to exactly when they were.
Yeah.
So they go into the anomaly, it hits them, and they come out of the anomaly. That's how it appears to everyone else. But I no way understood. This is not an explosion of a planet effect. They say that. This is a very specific anomaly, which is not the same thing, nor is it traveling back in time, nor none of that. So I wish they just cut that line, because it doesn't. It's not that it can't make sense. We're seeing Q's backwards time travel thing, but they don't try and explain it. So I'm just gonna kind of ignore it and just say they're wrong, because he's just saying it, right? He could just be making shit up, right? And doesn't make sense to me. So yeah.
Another thing before they do that, real quick, Pike does ask Una, like, would you miss this kind of stuff? And she's like, every day. So just helping him make up his mind for the promotion thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, some great shots of the Enterprise in this episode for sure.
Yeah, the CG budget. Obviously all of the dinosaurs, but they threw in a CGA game, and they do tend to, but they definitely threw in some nice stuff. But yeah, they get the stress buoy. They go in. For me, both times it felt dumb, because this thing's really dangerous. You don't know what's happening, who it's happening to, why it's happening, when it's happening, how to rescue them, who it is, and how you can save them. And you're going to risk everybody with no information. Pike wouldn't do that. Kirk wouldn't do that. Picard wouldn't do that. No one would do that. And guess what? You got screwed and went back in time. You're freaking idiots. Because this thing is so dangerous, and it kills them in under like a minute. So I just really ridiculous, and I can't take it seriously. But plot, they got to, right?
Yeah. Erica ignores a warning from Scotty again. Boop, turns it off. That's going to come in relevant later in the season, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, but, decent setup.
Yeah. So I just want to point that setup out as well. But yeah, I kind of agree with you with going into the anomaly, but plot. Things have to happen.
Yeah, exactly. It's just not, how many episodes do they not want to risk the lives of their crew for something, and here they are risking it for no information. At least if they'd said a Starfleet buoy, I'd be like, okay. Or if they got a computer signal saying we're trapped, like something more meaty than just a buoy from any alien race that we've no idea, and presumably they'd be destroyed because they're inside a death anomaly with the power level. They didn't connect. It doesn't make sense, and But also it's a very quick set of scenes. We're still pre-told. We're going. So you're not meant to think about it, and they rely on that quite heavily here. But also the universe and fate this is always a temporal event, so this is always going to happen. So it doesn't matter if it's stupid. They live because they have to, because they will, because they did, because they will have to, because they did. Yeah. And bam, they're in the past. I did note no space shots of the exterior, because I thought for a second the way they framed it, the way the lighting is, that they crashed on a planet, and we're going to see a really cool shot of it, on a planet. Because why no floating debris? I don't know. We could have done with a shot of it like floating and being damaged, or I don't know.
We have life support, but no transporters. Everything's offline, essentially. Barest amount of impulse power, and they've lost all their iridium.
Mm-hmm.
So they need iridium to kickstart the engines. They can't ignite the warp engine without it. So it's just a catalyst to get the engines going. It's not. Somebody brought that up last night that warps doesn't use iridium, but whatever. It's just again a plot conceit.
Is that a thing we've heard of before?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. They don't mention artificial gravity. They don't mention anything else. They also
The weird thing they mention is that the stellar storm pulled them into a warp field, which I thought was kind of a weird way to say it, but
yeah. I assume the writers are trying to say it's like time warp from TOS because it's yellow like a sun.
no, it's because they warped them to a different location. Because the next line is talking about the stars not lining up, and they think it's just because the computer is coming back online.
But why warp is? Did they make a bubble? None of that. Some of these lines just are there because they're there.
Yeah.
You know, just say a wormhole or something. But that's the thing. If you leave the big stuff vague, then, a thing happened. Went through a thing to a thing.
Yeah. I kind of miss this each time, though. This is where Pike says deploy a locator and send out a mayday.
Yep.
I could never remember when they sent out the buoy, but this is
really early. Yeah. Which I guess directly means that the anomaly is still open, because that anomaly has to that buoy now has to go through the warp journey back into the future, but to the past of where they were. So I wish they'd kind of said the anomaly is still open.
That's what I'm saying. I think the storm is something that's just always there, and it was created because of this incident somehow. I don't know. So anything that goes into it or near it is just kind of, I don't know.
Yeah,
it's hard to explain.
They didn't think it through, because at the end they say it's closed, so it was a linear thing.
Yeah, and Michael Skyros sent Laughing Disco for 250 joules. So thank you so much.
There you go. I also really felt both times their amount of concern here is absurdly low. They are so unbelievably screwed. This is probably the most screwed they've ever been, ever, in their entire career. Certainly in the 4 seasons. And they're all so calm to the point of being, they've read the script, they know nothing's a problem. Because they've got no systems. They're nowhere they know, and they can't see, and they know where to repair it, because they haven't got the stuff to repair things.
Yeah, but they know April knows where they are, and they assume they're still in the same spot.
That is...
So somebody will eventually come.
I wish they... Well, they don't know they're in the same spot.
Not yet. But I mean, they would assume so. They wouldn't think they'd been thrown across any distance.
But they say they've been in a warp... And the stars don't like... They know they're not where they were, so they've got to be at least, they would assume, close is fine.
They're waiting for the system, the sensors to come back online to make sure the stars don't match.
Well, no, they say they don't match, but there could be a malfunction in the system. So that's true. They don't match. So
she said it doesn't match, but it could just be from the computer rebooting.
But how long was that going to take, right? Not that long. It's weird. It's
Classic for Real sent Sparkles for 2 joules.
Sparkles.
And Classic for Real also sent a PayPal of $2 that says, Classic for Real is guessing based on the trend of this episode, tomorrow's Enterprise will be about Pike saving history by watching the view screen doing nothing as Edith Keeler assassinates Abraham Lincoln. Dun dun dun. After 45 minutes of dialogue, that really didn't mean anything.
I can't believe he's getting screeners and we're not. That's terrible. Man, you're spoiling it. But also, I asked in the poll, you have 37 votes. Let's get to 40, and I can make a new poll. So vote right now in the poll. It's a big, strong, definitive poll. Let us know. 37 votes. There's 43 of you here. There's certainly 5 of you haven't voted. Let us know. This also confused me. They don't give a single rationale why
hit like. 48 of you here, 27 likes, guys. Come on. Let's get to 30, 40 likes. Come on. Sorry.
And they don't give a single rationale why the shuttles would be damaged. They say they're mostly functioning. So they have multiple warp-capable shuttles, all with full sensors, that are not damaged because they wouldn't be damaged inside the ship. Why would they be? And they use a shuttle, but as soon as they leave, they could do a long-range... So they just ignore the fact that they've got all these working tech inside, which would... at the very least, you'd send one shuttle to warp out and then work out where you are, and then go to the nearest base, only to then find, oh shit, we're not in the past. They just sort of keep ignoring stuff that is very important. So like I said, as if it's too dense, and it is not fully logical. And we try to keep, because we're still pre-title. Still pre-title. We're zipping through it, right?
Yep. So number one gets ordered to go down to the planet that has the iridium, and they take the shuttle. The three girls night out, I guess.
Well, Tigers does fly the shuttle.
She's a pilot, I hear.
I did think both times it would be nice if they'd mentioned how there are these giant trees that don't exist in our world that are so sci-fi it's ridiculous. I'm fine with the asteroid destroying plant life, but boy, what a way to say alien planet. I really hope they asked, people who know history, because inventing shit like this I don't like, because it gives you the wrong expectation. So I hope
there was different flora back then. So
that's what I'm
hoping
they
based on
asked.
something.
Yeah, I'm hoping.
Classic Frill puts in $2 and says, I keep forgetting to hit like until you remind me. Well, and I'm going to remind everybody else again. 47 of you here, 34 likes. Hit that like button. Let's get those likes up to 40. But yeah, I love this sequence where the shuttle lands and the door opens. You got the little thing that comes out and the little steps appear. That's amazing. I love it. Nice tie-in to the Galileo, which kind of has something similar going on, but not at all.
Although it gives you a perspective how much bigger this shuttle is.
Oh yeah,
every element...
shuttles are scaled properly in this one.
Giant, and both times I watched it, and this is a good thing, I'm left wondering where the CG takeover is to the practical, because I would buy they didn't build a practical set, given this is the only shot of it, so they probably did just build the ramp. And it's all just a composite. I think that's probably what they did. I was expecting more shots of the shuttle. It would be much cheaper and easier. So it probably is just a CG shuttle. But it's very, very well done. The way it comes down and then it's practical. So I think
Hypno Amber's here. Hello, Hypno Amber. We haven't seen you in a long time.
Yes! Sorry. Where have you been? Where have you been?
Like how he has to check. I said Hypno Amber's here and he's like, he's got to verify. And then he says, yes. You didn't believe me? Hypno Amber says, I thought the stream started at 2. I'll have to pay better attention. It's only early today. Next week is going to be the regular time, I assume. So just keep that in mind. Today's kind of an oddity. So, but yeah, they're basically determining that the iridium's over there by a volcano, and they need to get by whatever that big thing in the trees is. So, and there's no way around. So they asked Scotty, is there any way you guys can, phaser it, something? And he's like, well, I could maybe shoot some energy at it, but
from
send
orbit?
A bolt of electricity. Send a bolt of electricity.
But they're not in orbit. Why would they?
I don't know.
Okay. Oh, but then 42 votes. I'll let you finish.
But then the Laon is like, hey, we got this new. Well, they don't say the shed. Actually, that's later. But she says
they look very similar, these scenes on the planet, because they're in the same little LED wall set with the same background. So they're all kind of the same scene until the dinosaur bit.
Let's see what it's capable, what it can withstand. And everybody's like, what are you doing? What? That's a bad idea. And she shoots stun at it, which does nothing. It doesn't even bother it at all. So yeah, I like that. And it's a phaser beam. It's great. And the fucking TOS phaser sound effect as well. It was beautiful.
Actually. Modernized, but nice.
Yeah.
As it should be. Yeah, so briefly though, so the poll, 43 votes. Last chance to vote, guys, before the poll comes in. And guys, these are 3 quick, easy votes. We want a sense of what the audience is thinking. I asked you all, how would you rate this episode? The winner by a good margin is A at 44%, a joint S and B at 23%, and C at 9%. So everyone likes it a lot, and lots of people love it. 60%, 67% say S or A. So highly reviewed, Stuart. Well done.
Yeah.
Don't want to say well done to you, but I said well done to you. But no, phaser beam's great. I was really excited to do the phasers more. I kind of thought they were going to take over now, so I was disappointed for the 6 frames you see the bolt later. But hopefully this means I'll do more of this. And it's pathetic that I'm that excited by it. It really is. Low expectations. Woo. It's a bit odd that they in this scene chose to actively hide the dinosaur T-Rex for the entire scene until the end. It seemed like a weird editing choice. It's like it being a T-Rex doesn't matter. We'd all assume it's an alien T-Rex. There can be alien T-Rex. That's not a problem, right? So they should have shown it here. Oh wow, a dinosaur. But then when they realize it's Earth, they say actually are dinosaurs like that. So I think that was a miss. But the intro is not the best, so this is part of that, right? Weird pacing, weird structure. And also, boy, I wonder if this is it's so sad. I wonder if this is part of Arn's new character arc that she'll shoot first, and I wonder if this explains
Probably.
why she murdered the Gorn, because we've called her out for that, and she's not going to get off that stock free.
I would hope so. Yeah.
And she's stunning, but she's going straight to shooting. I mean, she's fine too, but it's like that straight to shoot it. I don't know. I wonder if that's part of it.
I would say yes.
Yeah.
Now that you said that, because yeah, everybody's like, "What are you doing? That's a bad idea."
But then, Stuart, tractor, laser, lightning beam, tile sequence, but almost. I'm not quite there. God damn it, it's still going. Still going. God damn it.
Yeah. Something grabbed us. And you see the alien ship with the tendrils of electricity, kind of like a tractor beam, and then we get the
Yes.
the
Okay. Good. A fine alien design.
Very unique though. I like it.
Yeah. I mean, how do you design a Martian ship? You design a ship. I mean, it being Mars that we know today has no bearing on it. So, you know.
It would be funny if it was like one of the ones from War of the Worlds.
Oh,
You know, just some visual reference to that.
well, we had that last year, the tendrils with the claw ship. That was the, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
you already had that. But no, fun. I did not need this in this episode, although we did know from you saw it in the other trailer. So I'm glad this is all in one thing. But we doubled up on dinosaurs, cowboys, new ensign, maybe love interest, alien planet, away team mission, now aliens, and then threat and damage ship, and oh my god, it's the freaking third. Is it the most 13 minutes dense Star Trek in the last decade?
I think so. That's why
Yeah.
I said it's very dense.
But the episode does get better from now on. It slows the fuck down. And I can see why they wanted to get past all the setup. Because if you take out 13 minutes of 59, you have a Picard Season 3 episode length. Right? You have another full episode. They've done the pre-episode, now they're in the episode. And that's absolutely fine. Because it does pace a lot better from now on.
Anyway, where'd they come from? Don't know. Do you recognize the ship? No, it's not in our database. Cool. Does it have any weapons or shields? No. No. Do we have any weapons or shields? Nope. Nothing's functioning. We can't do many of the repairs without iridium. So we're basically crippled.
Oh,
like they're like towing us away. Do we have impulse? Anything?
yeah, and Hellraz comments on my comment, but sort of misses the point of why I said it. He said, they hid the T-Rex as they were trying to surprise us because it wasn't until after this point Spock reveals that 65 million years in the past. Yes, obviously, but an alien T-Rex is still a T-Rex. It's still an alien. We would not think this was Earth to see a T-Rex. We would think this is an alien dinosaur planet. I doubt many people would make that assumption. It's Earth in the past from that. So, because we all knew it was dinosaurs because of the way they were saying it. So there's no surprise there, right? I was not surprised by anything about it. So it just didn't work properly.
But communications are still open. Universal Translators online. So it's like, okay, hail them. We'll try the friendly approach first. And I love how he's like, this is Captain Christopher Pike of the Starship Enterprise. You seem to have accidentally taken hold of our ship.
You slipped on a button, right? Just total accident, yeah?
Well, I love the way he scales it down from a threatening thing to we can't do anything about it, so I have to be really nice and meek. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we get the response from Battle Commander Cassell, and they seized their ship as spoils of war, essentially. Your ship and its resources and our property. Yeah.
It makes me
Dun, dun, dun.
Again, this is lack of logic. They don't know aliens exist because the people in their solar system are from the same system, so they would always consider them shared planetary, like they're part of their solar system ecosystem.
We never get any clarification if they're warp capable. I assume they're not, but we also get no clarification if there's a wider alien presence, like maybe have run into one or two others. Like
Well,
you never get a sense of any of that.
well, you know that she doesn't think aliens can interact with them, and people would rather force, because
Yeah.
it's inferring or explicitly saying that they've only ever dealt with their one neighbors in the system and they've been real dicks, but they don't ever mention where have you come from, your aliens, how have you got here, because the way they frame it as you are spores of war, 100% implies they find other spaceships and have them as spores of war that are random, because otherwise that would not be the hail. It'd say, who are you? How have you got here? Are you allies? The sentence doesn't make sense unless they are warp capable, unless they've made friends with other races. But none of the episode suggest that in one iota. So it doesn't really work structurally. But I guess they're again trying to hide the Martian stuff, so to let us think how a normal modern day alien race would react, which is, I'm nicking you. I don't know, it's not a well-framed, structured bit, but there's many of that so far, so, yeah.
I want to address something right now. Devo says, so if they had just kept flying south, they would have found the Voth people? Probably not. Okay.
We got 50 more minutes in. Have fun.
The Voth were speculated to have left Earth 65 to 70 million years ago. So let's assume they left 70 million years ago. That's 5 million years before the Enterprise arrives. It's a long fucking time. And there would be no evidence of them. And they didn't explore the whole planet. They just knew their landing area with the Iridium, and
they also didn't know it was a spaceship, so their sensors were trash.
Yeah.
So they couldn't detect anything anywhere, right?
Yeah. They do find the spaceship of the which I thought might be Voth for a second when I was watching it. But, I get people complaining about the Voth, but at the same time, I think if to put the Voth in this would have been overcomplicated and been fan servicey.
More overcomplicated, you mean?
Yeah. So I'm glad they didn't. And yeah, the Voth could have left 5 million years prior, which is a long fucking time. It's not like 5 years earlier. Like you say, 65 years or 70 years, it's 5 years. It's not a long time. But 65 million to 70 million, 5 million years. Can you even imagine 5 million years?
Yeah, the Voth are on their 197,000th dynasty.
Yeah.
I mean, they've reinvented transwarp 955 times, all of which for some reason they changed the shade of blue. They're busy. They're chilling. I mean, it would have been nice. I mean, you can tell Strange Worlds for the most part doesn't try and connect with the grander canon just to be safe, which in fairness, Discovery fucked so much over that it's better to be safe than sorry, right? Fair enough. But they probably could have done with a Easter egg moment at the end when a ship, I mean, like, this is really like for the fans, but a ship could have been monitoring the planet, because the Voth could have got from Delta Quadrant to here in no time, right? So going back to their home planet would be just like, it'd be funny if off holiday on Earth, because there's no distance at all, right, for them. So it would have been fun if there was a ship at the end and maybe they, oh no, planet got blown up.
I did some research last night too, so Hellrats is right. I think it's implied that the alien bug planet is the source of the iridium in our solar system itself. Iridium is usually only found on Earth at meteor impact sites, and it's been proven that the meteor impact site that killed the dinosaurs, there's a huge burst of iridium at the time. So I like that tie-in, and it's kind of cool. Yeah.
Okay. So it's a real thing that they've now transposed back into Star Trek.
Yeah, it's a real thing.
We also need that for the warp drive, although we never have.
Yeah.
But I'll get into that later. We're not there yet in terms of talk. But Stuart, read the poll if you would as well, so people know to vote in it.
Is this the best episode of Stranger World? Yes or no?
There you go. Back on the planet.
This is just them discussing the disintegration function of the phaser.
Yeah, which I hope this is them implying that the tech's improving. That because TOS has disintegration, has beam, that I'm hoping that by the end of the season they'll have moved over to beams and all the stuff. And season 5 they'll have TOS phases. We know what we would do as fans, but we'll see. I'm going to be hopeful, but I do not hold my breath.
And DUI Champ throws in $5.
Hey, good to see you.
It says that universal translator is the most dependable piece of technology in all of Trekdom. 65 million years in the past still works. Yeah. Classic for real, $2. Voth and progenitors from the chase were off screen. Well, the progenitors were billions of years before this.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah. Anyway, to me, it's not a big deal with the Voth and stuff.
Yeah. The times don't connect. That's fine. It just links us all a bit more history-wise. And then
this is where they're talking about.
Okay.
We have never heard of Starfleet. We don't know anything about you.
Yeah. I like Pike's line. If you don't know Starfleet, we probably don't know you then. It's like, yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
I was hoping originally this would mean they're in the Delta Quadrant or Gamma Quadrant. I thought that'd be a more interesting plot. I mean, I didn't think past because I thought that would just be interesting, right? A wormhole to Delta Quadrant.
Yeah.
That's plenty fun. You don't need time travel.
I never once thought that during this.
Well, it makes more sense, and we're going back to the right of all Trekdom, but because this is a bold episode.
Yeah. So she mentions the doldrum, and Spock's like, be careful what you say, because if she's not familiar with Starfleet, it's possible they're pre-warp and they may be seizing our ship to learn about our technology. Yeah. Spock goes to scan further and leaves Pike to kind of chat with them. We're new to this region of space. If we don't know you, if you don't know us, we probably don't know you. And then we find out that they are at war with a terrible, destructive enemy, and they've seized the ship as scrap for the war effort. Yeah. If everything's fine, you'll be released and returned home, wherever that might be. Yeah, and then Pike's all pissed off. He's, you can't just take our ship without consequences. and then he steps in it. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I'll just read in the chat. Gster says, "How do they end up back in Sol System after exploring some random energy thing? I missed that. Yes, travel back in time, but how do they travel so far back to Earth? Because it was basically they should have said a wormhole. It was just
that. They said a warp thing.
Yeah, they missed. They should have said wormhole. They just but also it's fate, destiny, universe. You know, it's where they had to be, etc. It's fine. There was a wormhole and it put them there. It's absolutely fine.
Yeah.
You know, space and time don't matter when you can fold stuff. Sorry, back to you.
This is where he says, "Commander, we do have weapons. Are you really going to risk us turning all of Starfleet's weapons on you at some point?"
Weapons, you say?
Oh. And he's like, "Why don't you come on board? We'll talk about it." And she says, "Well, you know, if you want me to come on board and show me your weapons, that's great." He's like, "That's not exactly what I meant, but okay."
And it's played like low decks humor, like a low-key low decks humor there.
Yeah.
But two genuine, you know, I'm finding there's lots of problems this episode, really, if you break it down. But two other problems. First of all, how are Martians at war with the doldrum? If they're in the same solar system and it takes them not very long to get between planets, we know they colony shipped a planet on Earth, but do they have fleets? Is there space battles? A war is a very specific way of saying it.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if there's fleets or whatever, but yeah, the colony ship, I think, might have been intended to go to Mars again, because that's what happened before. They got to Mars. They had to wipe out a big area of Mars.
Oh, is that what you think happened?
That's what she says happened.
No. Well, they say it's an attack. You think it was a colony ship?
Yeah, they wanted to probably colonize Mars. It's an attack.
Well, you can politely colonize.
And they destroyed a lot of their planet to basically get rid of them all. So I don't know if this colony ship was intended to go to Earth, because you would know with your sensors and stuff that Earth has big fucking giant lizards. You don't really want to colonize that necessarily. So maybe it was on its way to Mars and it was shot down by one of their ships. Again, not clarified, not explained. But yeah.
Like, I'm fine with them having cryopods because Khan had cryopods and sublight. But for them to have a spaceship dedicated to go to Earth, for these guys to have a spaceship dedicated who are able to track the beam and they love weapons, they have phase shift technology. I like the idea that these insectoid guys just tried to land a ship on the planet and it went poorly. But then they said they went out, spread, and ate lots of things and killed loads of people. So you could argue this because they're feral creatures, but then they're also spacefaring with tripods, so you can't square that circle. So it had to be an invasion force, which makes it they are dicks. But then why aren't they just attacking each other's planets? Because otherwise they would be. There's no ships. There's no defense forces of any kind near the Doldrum planet. There's plenty of warning. I mean, they're watching Enterprise and this other ship come into their space for the entire sublight journey. They never try and stop them. There's never any interception. There's never any weapons. So they both have spaceships and cryo, but no ships or defenses. So I don't understand how they're at war. So that doesn't make sense, the way they present it. And, second of all, doesn't make sense. Why, and there's a fixation on what weapons do you have? They have sensors. The Enterprise has no shields. They could scan, detect their weapons.
But they don't know about any of that because later she's like, you said you have something called shields?
So, but they're not on because they're off. So they could just scan the hull. They obviously have sensors, otherwise they couldn't be ships.
Yeah, but they wouldn't be looking for that. They're more primitive is what they're implying, I think. Because she was surprised about shielding. And it's part of their defense systems and whatever. So
yeah,
she even asked about their sensors and science station too. I don't know how advanced they are. That's the thing.
I mean, they have tractor beams and phase shifting. They're pretty advanced in their own way. So I doubt if they know how to phase through molecules, they wouldn't know. And also they know how to use and why the energy pod is useful. So they would surely know what a photon torpedo structure would be. There's matter anti... Like, I don't know. It just... There's a disconnect there, but they just need to get on board. So they're not thinking... And fine if they had shields up, they don't. If the tech was worse, I'd be fine with that, but it's not. They didn't think it through. There's just plot holy stuff. It's fine. Whatever.
Well, Classic for Real throws in $2 and says, Classic for Real just realizing they re-retconned unretconning the Discovery Shuttle. The Enterprise size, they're re-retconning, unretconning everything. Kurtzman or someone at CBS must watch Trekyards. Now, just for that bridge size, if Lego can get it right. Yeah.
Ooh, Hellrat says, well, they're bug creatures, so they probably like locusts. Oof. Ouch.
You'd think that, but they also have a ship. Could be an organic kind of ship, because it does. There is, when you see the crash ship, there's one thing that looks like a horn almost. So, yeah, I don't know. Don't care. It's such a good story, it doesn't matter. But then we see them use the disintegrate ray, which doesn't disintegrate tree.
Say something, Stuart. Are you back?
I said a lot. I talked about the next fucking scene.
Okay, great. And then after that, they beam in. No, they don't beam in. You would think that Pike could have, told them to beam in. I don't understand the miscommunication here. To say, we'll beam you over. So I don't really understand the logic of why they... But again, they don't think this episode through. They don't... You always tell the other ship how and where to board. You don't give them free reign. So I guess the Martians decided not to beam aboard. Not let themselves be beamed. I don't know. They're waiting, so they know they're going to beam any second. And then are they walking through space? Because the ships aren't next to each other. So they just... Can the phase shifting let them just walk across? There's no shuttle, there's no spaceship, they're not beaming. So how are they getting aboard?
Well, later you hear it from the hull, so it sounds like they butted up to the hull.
Which wouldn't make sense with Pike.
We just skipped over a huge fucking section, by the way.
Well, you talked
to find
about
out
it,
they're 65 million years in the past.
What was that?
On
okay,
the bridge.
Cool. Oh,
Looks
okay.
like we're 65 million years in the past, and there's 3 Class M planets.
Which is weird that he didn't clock. That's wrong. And
then they tell Lon, who uses the new disintegration feature, which doesn't disintegrate trees, it just cuts them down. There, that's all the stuff I said when you couldn't hear me. Apparently,
excellent. Yeah, good T-Rex. Good. I mean, the T-Rex is for 30 years. But yeah, I'm so surprised Pike doesn't say there's no 3 planets. Like that very second, he should have clocked and said, "Okay, this planet will be destroyed at some point. Therefore, at the end, he would register that." I'm surprised he doesn't. I mean, I know there's a lot of years in between, but also they have records of planets from the past, so he would know in his history books there's never been another planet, even to this point. Right? I don't know. He's dumb.
But there's the 5th planet theory, which is where the asteroid belt came from. It's a known scientific thing. It's not proven. who knows what happened in the future? They could have had evidence of a fifth planet that was destroyed at some point.
Well, then Spock would have said it, as in Spock should have said that, but that would have given away the ending, right? Pike should have said, "There's no fifth planet in at this point," and Spock says, "Well, theories are it became an asteroid, it must have been destroyed at some point." But they then ruin the end. So they again jump over logic to get to the end, which is a shame, but they're trying to do too much. Then the phaser.
Sasaguru 2000, member for 56 months at the rank of captain.
That is amazing.
And somehow no mention of the Voth ancestors that should have existed during that time, and that the Martians should know about. Okay, we've addressed this before.
Why would the Martians know about the Voth? They're millions of years apart.
The Voth left 65 to 70 million years ago. If they left 70 million years ago, that's 5 million years before Enterprise shows up. That's more than enough time for the Martians to evolve and become spacefaring, and they might not have known about them. And the Voth, evidence of any Voth on Earth would be long gone.
Yes, we went from cavemen to spaceships in 2,400 years. So, million years, right?
Well, from cavemen, it's about 10,000.
No, I mean, like Romans, where they basic people. Sorry, I just meant rudimentary. So clearly, yeah, there's 10 million years between the Voth and the Martians. They wouldn't know each other. They're so many eons apart, and we don't know. Stranger Worlds wouldn't know about the Voth either. So there's no reason to connect unless the Voth were here to check on Earth.
So the Voth just shouldn't even come into the conversation. Classic for Real puts in $1.80 and says Classic for Real thinks tomorrow's Enterprise will loop back to this episode where Pike comes back to just before a Martian lady destroys the planet while running into Voth. The Chase, progenitors, the founders, the Guardians of Forever, and Q and Picard mucking around in primordial goo.
Again, stop going with screeners. He keeps spoiling everything. It's really annoying, Classic. My God.
The primordial goo is way before this even, so.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. So no, the Voth are this is not easily explained.
But yeah, the beam thing we talked about, don't know why any of that makes sense, but I like the costumes. Again, if you'd said to me, design a Martian ship and Martian costumes and Martian look, there's nothing to go on. So they're just good-looking alien people. Cool. Yep. Good.
I love how they never say a name up for themselves, so they're just known as Martians to us.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought I missed it the first time, like, because I was writing stuff down. The doldrum, okay, got that. Yep. What are these? Nope, just Martians.
Well, my sense was the Stranger Worlds wants to make this giant new canon, but also not add everything everywhere. And so inventing, you know what I mean? Like, doldrum, they died. It's fine. You know. It's fine. Well, good armor. I like they have Vulcan-esque ears. Maybe that's an implication that they also went to Vulcan and blah blah. I feel that's slightly implied because these are so far before any other species. I mean, this is not we're pretty sure pre-warp, but this is one of the ancient races, right?
Yeah, but there's probably ancient races before them, 65 million years before them as well.
100%. But this must be one of the earliest races we've ever seen. It's pretty cool, right? Pretty cool.
So those were original Vulcans. No, somebody said that last night too. This obviously implied that they're Vulcans or became Vulcans. It's like, no, it isn't. Because when Mbanga says that Martian DNA is found in many species or whatever, he would have probably said, including Vulcans or whatever.
Yeah, him being non-specific tells you there's not enough in any race that he knows to be worth mentioning. And they're not proto anything. Yeah. Otherwise, he would say that explicitly. But again, you're not going to canonize that Vulcans came from Mars. That's a horrible thing to retcon. That's beyond horrible.
That's stupid, yeah.
But I like the idea that they had pointy ears and they went out and they met other spacefaring races and they all bred and they shared genes and those genes dissipated over years and then that's fine. It's just this big, right?
Yeah.
I mean, hey, maybe, but yeah, like the armor. It's good. It's all good.
Some awkwardness with Scotty.
Yep. Glad I didn't kill him.
You don't have phase technology? It's like, no, we have transporters, and Spock like cuts them off. Like, I mean, we can talk about those later. Shut up, because it might be more advanced tech than theirs.
Yep. Although, do they have transporters?
They don't.
Okay. So they're using shuttles to get everywhere. Because them phasing does not mean they don't have transporters. They just have different tech They just prefer, they just wanted to phase in versus beaming potentially. I don't know.
Mm.
Don't know.
I
Again,
love how Mbanga's
appropriately
like,
vague.
yeah, Mbanga's like, our transporter usually scans for pathogens and stuff. I would like
Mm-hmm.
to sick bay to get some scans. See, we're fine, you're fine.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
You know, I gotta say, I feel like him murdering that Klingon in the previous season really has mellowed him out a little bit. You know, let his demons come to rest. Because Mbenga's so chill this episode. He's laughing. He's really calm, really chill guy. You know, I think I'll murder myself. Yeah.
mm.
I love the fact that and this is such a small but beautiful just writing detail that she says, I studied medicine, which implies she was a doctor who ended up having to go to military.
Yeah.
That's what it says to me, and then it just grounds her into she's got sensibilities that aren't war, even though every third line she mentions weapons. Just having one about her being in essence a previous doctor is just a lovely little line. Good writing, good writing.
Mm-hmm. So, on the planet, we get Una's plan. We're going to have the thing open its mouth by attacking one of us, and we're going to stun it in its soft palate. Hopefully, that'll help,
Yes.
or hopefully that'll work. And I love that the T-Rex is totally fucking distracted too by the
Uh-huh.
pterodactyls.
I mean, you know, keep playing. You know.
um, but yeah, plan almost goes wrong because the tail breaks some rocks and gets her phaser. Ooh, drama.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yep.
she gets it back and it works. Yeah.
So I like the scene in general, but it is 100% padding
Oh yeah.
and showing off because it would be fine if it just happened, but I really dislike that Ortega specifically says this plan is this, this, and this. I love it. You know her plan is just to walk up to and shoot it. There's no plan here. And you're both walking up to it as if there's a plan, but you're just watching her do it. There's no plan. You already tried this a minute ago. She's doing it closer. The way Ortega says it's like genius. Like what, to shoot it again? It's a really stupid framing for this. I was expecting, I know you agree, that they all phaser it from different angles with lasers, and that would be the plan. And then maybe they give different angles, and maybe they give one for the head, one for the chest. Like that would be a plan. She hasn't
I
got,
assumed all three would be shooting into the mouth.
because then it's a plan. It's a coordinated strike. So they make it sound really impressive, but it's absolutely not. And it's like, calm down, Ortega. It's not very impressive at all, and should not be given any accolades. But it looks great.
Classic Real throws in $2. Mars has been destroyed in Kurtzman era twice now. I wouldn't say it's destroyed. It
Oh,
dies so slowly in this one.
we put it on fire. That's true. Oh, we burned the planet of the Martian people. Oh,
We got another one from Classic Real, 20 cents.
oh, 20 cents.
Classic Real just wants to round out that last PayPal from 180 to
yeah.
$2. Thank you.
Speaking of $2, Tellarite shows up, which I don't know if you've ever seen.
Speaking of $5,
Oh.
Sussy Guru throws in €5 and says they could have tried shooting it away with the shuttle. Or shooing it away with the shuttle. I guess, yeah. Heard it. Like you heard animals with helicopters and stuff, sure.
It's just fun action piece. And it's funny this wasn't in the trailers more, because this by itself could have been you want me to shoot a dinosaur? You know, but it's not. So it's a nice, I think they just wanted to do it because it's fun.
Hey, Jill's here.
Yes, she was in our.
Haven't seen Jill in a long time.
She was in our pre-watch as well.
She was in here. She was on my live last night, but good to see you.
Be here more often. Say hello. Hello. And what does she say?
What does who say? What?
Jill.
Poor Romulans. Poor Alt Vulcan.
Okay.
Yes.
And the poll has 51 votes. Perfect. Let's end that. So I asked you all, is this the best episode of Stranger Worlds? No, at 67%. But 33% say yes, which is still a good percentage. All right, think of a new poll.
Hit like, everybody. We have 51 of you here, 49 likes. Pretty good. We need one more like to get to 50. So if you haven't hit like yet, please do so.
I want all the likes. All of them.
And then Jill says hello. There you go.
Excellent.
So yeah, the sick bay scene is like they're talking about the different cultures, and just alone in this room we have humans, Vulcans, and Tellarites, which might be breaking the Prime Directive a little bit because they might be, maybe not. I don't know, because they know they're 65 million years in the past now, so all those names are kind of irrelevant to the Martians. But and it's like, oh, so do the other species of the Federation bring you weapons? Well, some bring music, some bring only recipes. But yeah, they're not worried about turning their weapons on each other because it's a conglomeration, right? Good conversation here, talking about basically how the Federation works, and they've never seen anything like that. I love that the Martians are so warlike because they were being essentially attacked by bugs. So everything's about weapons, weapons, weapons. Because they don't have a broader. So it makes me think that they haven't had any interactions with other ships. So yeah, the Enterprise being salvaged is kind of an odd thing that they would have been more curious about.
There
But
are more aliens that don't like bugs in the universe, and you speak our language somehow. As in, that's how they would frame that initial conversation.
yeah.
But a couple of people in the chat. John says, I never catch you live, and I'm an hour behind, so I'll say quiet from here and just say I love the show and your work. Thank you, John. And when you get back to this point, hello, John. Say hi again so that we know that you're back. But now will be an hour otherwise. Time dilation. You're literally time traveling. Congratulations. And Jill says, this is one of my favourite guest performances in Trek. She gets more amazing with each rewatch. Yeah, she's just really calm.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think she's very good, but I don't think she's exceptional, if that makes sense. Like, she's nailing it, but there's not the broadest range for her to do. Because, as you say, most scenes, she's quizzical, weapons, I'm a warrior, but not really. It's sort of the same stuff, but she nails it. But it's the same stuff. So, you know. And she's great here. And it's a good description of the Prime Directive, you know, all these things, although they're pre-warp. This is the past, and Pike is letting them see aliens, which breaks all the rules, all the laws, everything, and they don't even address it. At the very least, Pike should have said all non-humans stay out of the designated spaces because any one race being seen could change the future because they're now seeing other life, and they just don't care. And it's because the script knows they're going to die and blow up, so it doesn't matter. But I know there's no Prime Directive yet, but Pike knows better, but he's not using his knowledge and his skills and his common sense.
You gotta think of it. Telling about Vulcans and Tellarites won't make a lick of difference because it's 65 million years in the past. They don't exist yet. There's no way they're ever going to run into them, so it doesn't matter.
So it's one of those. There are laws, there are rules, but if it doesn't matter, then it doesn't matter.
Yeah, like what? Telling about Vulcans, what is that going to do? Are they going to go out looking for Vulcans? They're not going to find any.
Although, as we learned back at the end, they do go out into the galaxy and spread, so they absolutely could have. Their impact is felt across the galaxy.
65 millions of years in there, so that it would have been so diluted by that point that. Anyway,
I mean, I guess you're arguing with the butterfly effect in general. You know, you can go on a butterfly, you can change one small thing. It doesn't matter because it's too small. Yeah. Fair enough.
But it also rubs against the fact that they're like, we can't kill this dinosaur because who knows what could happen. You know, the dinosaurs are going to go extinct at some point. So really, did killing one dinosaur matter unless it falls on a small mammal that might eventually become some.
Well, this is why they should have. So, what is the date currently based on the stars? 65,843,000. And when's the asteroid hit? Today. Like, they could have they know exactly the day it happens because they were able to work that out. We've had such advanced tech for a long time. So I'm surprised they don't know this is the day the asteroid falls. You know, and therefore the logic of, well, you can shoot a dinosaur because we're in the same location, the asteroid. You know, like, obviously the asteroid must have hit roughly where they were to destroy the alien spaceship and those beings. So that dinosaur is going to get obliterated beyond belief, and therefore it doesn't matter. Again, it spoils the end super hard, so they kind of have to keep all that in. But there's definitely logical, you know, I keep pointing it out, but there's definitely logical conceits across the board. But it's a nice scene, and I like her, you know, we've only ever dealt with one alien race, and they've murdered millions of us.
But Jill throws in $5.
Oh my god!
All the Martian fashion designers must have ended up in Romulan space.
Well, yeah. Although which
Grievous.
Romulans? Because Romulans in Nemesis era, maybe? Or no, Remans. Reman design. I wouldn't say it's Romulan. More like Reman.
General Grievous, member for 38 months of the Wreck of Ensign. The Prime Directive didn't exist yet. Loopholes, lol.
Mm-hmm.
DUI champ, $2. It's called Cowboy Diplomacy. And Classic for Real throws in $2.
Oh.
It says Classic for Real, a chunk of the planet Martian lady blows up, floats around for 65 million years. It crashes into the Romulan sun, making it go supernova. Picard tries to launch a rescue. A Romulan agent sabotages the mission by setting Mars on fire. It's like poetry, it rhymes.
Gosh.
Sure. Gosh.
Right.
Yeah. Then they go to the bridge. She asks about shields. She asks what the purpose of the science station is, to just assess vulnerability of your potential enemies. And it's like, no, it's just broad knowledge to compensate for, to learn about things and people. Yeah. And then the widower line's great, because he says alone, and she's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry for your loss. You have my condolences." Because they have 10 words for loss or alone, and it's all based on inflection and stuff. So he basically said that he was a widower, and that's really cool because different words, different whatever for the same thing. I like that.
And you mentioned earlier bridge size. When they walk around the bridge, you can see that each of those console spaces is like 6 officers along. This thing is the size of a football field. I mean, this is the biggest bridge in Star Trek, as in of the Enterprises, by so much. I know I've got a version I could do scale replicas of, but I mean, it's embarrassingly big. It is, because my god, the fact you can do like a walk around that takes you 2 minutes is like, oh my god. So I just referencing you earlier, but no, good scene. Hits Pike some hard, although you get the vibe he's already like, he knows he's going to die. You know how he's going to die. He knows his horrible future, so he is very accustomed to giving in to the pain and moving on because he can't do anything about it. So while this is obviously a gut punch, he's trained himself to move on. So luckily he doesn't dwell in it. And we were very surprised in season 1 where you address the thing with the cage and then move on, because it can't define him. He's got to live more. So, pain, but also we're moving on. So I like that balance.
Mm.
And you get her thing about no captains I can't date. It's
yeah.
And we're always at war. It's
what do you know about Mars? And Pike looks at Spock. We are not familiar with the current condition of Mars. Great answer.
Jill says, I never hear people rave at what a good actor Mount is in emotional scenes. He's amazing. Yeah, every actor is really solid in the show. They cast the shit out of it. And Anson is he's a very gentle captain. He's a very not soft, but just relatable. And he does a lot of those inner emotions very well, while still keeping the captain's strength, because he can't break down, because she's literally trained not to do that, right?
Mark Lawrence throws in $10. A fun line to throw in at the end would have been that their sensors came back up to almost full, and they detected traces of another spacefaring species on Earth. A nod to the Voth. That would have been kind of cool, yeah. Yeah.
But then, of course, the Martians would have detected that, as would the bug creatures. And you can imagine the Martians would be super keen to find allies against, But that is odd to think they just retconned it, that our solar system created 3 different non-human species first.
Yeah.
That's a huge retcon. We've never had Martians before, so 3 non-human species. Everyone gets wiped out. We take over and make an intergalactic federation, which lasts about 1,000 years. Wow, our system is very busy, and they're not progenitor based either, because I wouldn't think the Voth are, because they're too different, right? I assume. I don't know.
Sasaguru throws in €5. They could have invented a Martian name for Mars for this episode. Yeah, but the translator just took that's the planet they're talking about.
That is
Mars.
True. Yeah. So. The lovely grain of salt, right? They don't call it Mars, but yeah.
She shows them Mars. She's asked them to rotate to the other side of the planet, and we learn about the Valles Marineris, which is the 2,500 long trench that scarred the planet, and that's where they had to wipe out the enemy, the Doldrum, and 2 million of their kind got, or 2 million of Martians died in this. So that's a permanent scar on Mars, which is still there, which is really cool. I love that.
Now, are they saying that a Doldrum ship crashed, landed, or that they created the line? That they destroyed all of, as if the ship lands, the Doldrum spread out, and then they bomb everything.
Here's the answer. Here's the answer.
Yeah.
The crater was caused when when a Doldrum ship crashed onto the surface and fed on our world.
Yep.
The only way to stop them was to tear away the very land around them.
Yeah.
The invaders died, but the crater and 2 million lives was the price we paid.
Yeah, so they destroyed their own planet in that regard to wipe out, which kind of shows that that's a giant part of their planet. The fact that these insectoids ravaged and got that far out past, it's kind of like a zombie plague eating one of your continents, and then you've just got to bomb everything. Brutal. And you can imagine the resilient, especially if you kind of get a sense from a perspective too, if they can phase between walls, whatever, they've got tech. Why can't people leave? So if they could, gives you kind of a sense of this thing happened quickly. The sense of we've got to bomb it now. So imagine sacrificing 2 million civilians that just happen to be in that area. But also, this is just Starship Troopers again, isn't it? The bugs, Klendathu shot a thing at us, and we went to murder them. So they kind of Starship Troopers, but millions of years ago.
Yeah.
Damn bugs.
And then they talk about the main insectoid, and we can't communicate with them. And Pike's like, what if we can help you with that? Because we can maybe do that.
Yeah. Shocking no mention of the Zindi. The insectoid, because that would have been such an obvious thing. Oh yes, we've got this race called the Zindi, and we're working with the one race. We've talked to the other one.
Well, they do say, there's encountered 65 different insectoid species, but yeah.
Which is a lot if they can communicate with most of them. That's kind of exceptional, actually. Do they, at the end of this, do they come to the conclusion that we can speak to them?
Don't know.
Okay. I didn't think we came to
I know that they left her with the computer to figure out if whatever, and that's how she found out that Mars in their time was devastated. And
so we never get an answer if we could, which does affect it. If you can talk to them and tell them please don't bomb us, that changes, but they never get to that. She realizes, Also, question is, why this is a real question. Why the hell is Pike helping her? He knows there's no fifth planet. He knows Martians don't live. He knows the Doldrum aren't a thing. Why would he try and interfere with an event this? Why would he affect the past so blatantly to give them the ability to talk to an alien race? I don't understand. I know there's no Prime Directive, but he's so much smarter than this, and he's so actively helping them try and change the past. I don't understand his perspective here. I don't get it. It's so blatant.
It's the right thing to do.
Not in time travel, unfortunately. Edith Keeler. Right thing to do is let him die. Sorry.
That's what he does.
I agree. That's why he's weird that he's so dumb here and as earlier. He's not. He should be ahead of this. He's had hours to process it. It's odd. It's odd.
I don't know why he leaves. Well, he left her with Uhura and Sam, but goes up to the bridge.
Yeah.
And Spock talks about the quantum entanglement. So we're firmly anchored 65 million years in the past. We're stuck here? Yes and no. Because of quantum entanglement, we could snap right back to where we came from, but we need the equivalent of a supernova power source to do so.
And he is wrong, of course. Because they just
Sasiguru 2000 throws in €2 and says maybe it's his way of stalling. Probably, because they need to get the ship back up and running.
Interesting, but then you're making an enemy of her, because if you offer her this carrot, and then you take it away from her, you're just going to piss her off more. But I guess it doesn't matter either, because I don't know. He seems very genuine, so I don't get that sense. But yeah, I really wish Spock hadn't have said this line here, because no way in hell a planet blowing up is a supernova power. No, in any reality that's a thing. So I wish he'd just said a power to the N75th degree and left it at that, because that's not how they get home, and he's totally wrong here. Fine, his math could be off, but mate.
Yeah.
And also, I don't think that anomaly could supernova either. It wasn't that powerful. That's an insane level of power. That's so, that there's galactic scale. I don't know. He's wrong.
Sessiguru 2000 throws in €2.
Ooh.
Also, that's not what quantum entanglement is. Yes and no. Quantum entanglement is the exact same object occupying two different spaces, and they're linked together. It can be time, it can be distance, and it's instantaneous between the two.
I guess my assumption is they are existing both in the future and the past at the same time. Not literally, so, yeah. But they are there's 2 points they currently exist, because they return back to the second they were. So, but they had to explain how they can get back, because they can't time warp. None of the things they would normally use in Trek to get home they can have. So they had to do a really different one, which is just entanglement.
Yeah.
But we get finally an MSD. Finally, they've canonized MSD, and it makes no sense to the scale of the ship, which I love, because it makes sense to the colony scale of the ship, which I love.
And he says they're approaching deck 7, but deck 7's like in the neck at the top there. Anyway, it's fine.
Look at that shot. Look at that cargo bay. At least they're keeping consistent to themselves. That second hull is just an empty warehouse.
Yeah.
Basically, it's mad. But yeah, they are fucking off. Don't know why they necessarily have to go to where they started, because they've not established there's a ship docked or anything. There's been no spaceship shots. There's been nothing, so I don't know why they would. But
yeah. Well, they stole the ship's primary antimatter fuel cell. And it's like, oh, that's a big deal. But then later we hear we got a backup antimatter fuel cell, so it doesn't really matter.
Also, what's an antimatter fuel cell?
One of the magnetic bottles that holds the antimatter, I would assume.
So it's more okay. So it's just they just took some of their store of antimatter, which is very small, by the way. I feel like the
primary one, yeah,
the primary one. I feel like in Voyager they're these giant, big, oval things. So because it's not a bomb. The way they infer it, it's a power storage unit that they explode. But if it's just the antimatter, then they understand antimatter enough to understand how to add matter to it in a way that successfully creates a bomb effect that is timed, so that it explodes only when it hits
just had access to the computer, so yes.
Yeah, but I don't think antimatter destruction material would be accessible next to, research on insectoids. That'd be kind of classified and not accessible to aliens.
They phased through the wall to go to engineering, because they found out from the computer what the antimatter thing was, where it was, and how they can use it. And about Mars. They learned a lot.
I guess they shot everybody in the room to gain access, as in on both rooms. Stunned everyone. Because there's no way Scotty's letting them, or Sam's letting them, look at the computer alone for a while to learn the information.
I doubt it. They stunned anybody, but Sussy Guru throws in €10.
Ooh.
Also, if the explosion from their antimatter fuel cell is enough to get them back to the present, then what's all the talk about needing the energy of a supernova?
That's not what they said. We'll get there. That's not what they said. Its moral question is, one single antimatter pod in a pre-TOS ship can blow up a planet. That's a big precedent. They didn't modify it in any meaningful way.
Well, antimatter is dangerous when it comes in contact with matter, so who knows what it's capable of.
Yeah, makes fucking Nero seem a bit dickish, doesn't it? Oh, a red matter bomb. Just use one antimatter pod. It is absolutely that easy.
And Jill says,
yeah,
where did the 96% of the planet 5 that wasn't trapped in orbit go? Probably destroyed by the antimatter and or caused the anomaly on the other end of time.
Or disintegrated, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Matter can't be destroyed or whatever, but it's
converted.
Yeah, but we'll get there. We're not there yet. But yeah, they take it. It's WMD they never had, which kind of implies they have no antimatter technology. Otherwise, they would have bombs like this. So
and they probably have warp too, which we
well,
have.
Fair enough. So again, we don't. But I also love how, and this is a very small thing, but I love how Pike comes in, no security, no phaser, and the guards don't automatically try and do anything. They know they're not a threat to not even try and pretend he's going to be a threat. You know, it's a small note, but I know their hands are full, but they're guards of the captain. They would, you know, just kind of cute. It's like, oh yes, he's no threat. Let's chat.
Mm. He's like, well, I was honest with you and forthright the entire time.
Whole
but you
time.
weren't with me.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, well, I'm sorry, but we have things we can't really talk about. You know, we have rules we have to follow. But yeah, she does go on to say that because they were looking at the computer, they learned all this. They learned that Mars is a desolate wasteland in your future. So,
I mean, can you imagine though how that feels to see that in an eon from now, not literal, but you know, a sense of an eon, everything you've ever known is so far beyond destroyed.
Well, this is what makes her do this, because she's like, can you tell me the doldrums aren't responsible for that? And he's like, no, I don't know. So she's got a shot, she's taken it. And so much so that she just wanted to destroy herself because she has to be close enough to get the kill shot.
Well, and this is where the argument of is it her responsibility as being in this present to secure the future? For her, currently, it's not the future. So she doesn't care, right? It's Pike's job to stop her, but it's not her job to care about a future that doesn't exist yet. Even though it does, but it doesn't. Otherwise, she should let herself die, as in the whole thing. So it's interesting that she's doing this. Although, of course, as we know, it was always going to happen. Blah blah blah. Paradox. Blah blah blah. So she's just, you know, working with the winds of time. Where's the time crystal? We need it. But it's pretty dramatic, and it's a pretty interesting turn. I didn't see this coming. I didn't see the going straight to, you know, WMD level and her chillness. But I guess it also infers that the Doldrum are nowhere else, because the way she frames this is they'll be wiped out. One planet, no ships. Right? Which kind of de-emphasizes their space travel ability, because the way they frame it is gone. And clearly, and actually they must have no spaceships, because they say later there's no trace of them. So they bomb the planet goes, nothing's left, there's no ships, no one lives. Very confusing. That's why I don't think that ship that crashes on the Earth is necessarily their ship, because it doesn't really, you know. And boy,
anyway,
giant ship, by the way. Enterprise is big. That's a giant ship, you know. They build big ships.
Speaking of, we see the ship here.
Yeah.
It does look insectoid too, because you get looks like a leg. But
yeah, which I like. They're surprised because they've had tricords the entire time, and it was a twist. So I didn't really have any perception if it was going to be anything apart from just a rock. Did it feel? Because it felt like it was trying to be a twist. Did it feel like a twist?
what?
Well, they're going towards this material, thinking it's just naturally there, and it ends up being on a ship instead. That's a reveal, it's a twist. But did it feel like a twist? Did it, you know what I mean? Did it do anything?
No, not really.
Yeah. I thought that when you see that first dinosaur, that's the crew member. Because editing-wise, that's the way they're framing that. He's a crew member from the ship that crashed, that's a survivor, and then whatever. But he's not just a random, you know, dinosaur.
Yeah. Anyway, those marks on the side, those are burns. A weapon did that. The ship was shot down by our Martian friends.
Sure.
Anyway, the Iridium's inside. She's going to go in. There's no life signs. And then we got these two waiting out here with a Velociraptor.
And we do see an alien in the cryopod, which the lights are still on, if I recall.
Yeah.
Well, there's kind of a light inside. And they make a point to say it is dead, but it's
reflexes.
Yeah. But it's very much framed as if it's still alive for a second, and you get this frame of it, and I cannot tell what the fuck it is. I couldn't tell you if it was the creature from the earlier. I couldn't tell you if it was a Voth. I have no clue what I'm looking at. It's just
it does look dinosaur-y, so I thought Voth at first.
Yeah, it looks dinosaur-y. I would have put $2, but then there's like two eyes at different places. I have no idea.
Probably using their Gorn assets, just hiding it so you can't tell.
I thought they might have been Gorn like in some stupid way when the dinosaur come like Proto-Gorn. Proto-Gorn visited us first, and I would have been like, I don't know. Don't know.
But yeah,
But I like Ortega says they didn't, they didn't mean to die. They didn't want to die. They were just people, which is great because she met the Gorn. She liked the Gorn. She has a greater appreciation for life than Laan does, clearly. So I like that she's, so yeah, they're just trying to start a new life somewhere else. Like they're,
Jill says, so did the Martians prevent Earth from being infested by the
yes.
doldrum? I don't think so. I don't think the
Well,
colony ship was going to Earth, because if you know that, look at Earth, it's covered in giant reptiles. So not a place I'd want to colonize. I think it was another ship maybe heading to Mars that got shot down on the way and crashed on Earth.
but I think they showed that it's Earth, then Doldrum, then Mars. So they went the wrong way.
Well, yeah, okay.
I think that makes sense. They did try and colonize and we stopped it because they've got space travel, means they've got weapons. They can at least have bullets. So they're going to have tech to kill dinosaurs. I have no problem with that. They're spacefaring,
We should have let them colonize and then just kill them with the asteroid anyway.
Well, it would have been. I mean, it would have been interesting to have one survivor. I was kind of expecting that.
Yeah.
Especially if there's an active power unit still. That means the ship is somewhat. There's something going on.
Sussy Guru 2000 throws in €5.
Oh,
how did they know about the Martians? Didn't they lose contact before the Enterprise knew that they were Martians? What? I have a question of how they knew that the asteroid impacted, because the Enterprise warps out before that happens. But they could have just implied it.
Well, Spock was scanning the explosion and would make projections out of LOL to see what happened next. I would do that personally.
Yeah.
And he mathed. There was on its way. That's fine. It was really close to Earth, right? That math was not hard to work out. I mean, it was in the system while they were doing it. So, I don't understand quite why, if you weren't gonna have it be explicitly cryopods, there's Survivor. Why have it be cryopods? Why not just have it be a crash ship?
Yeah.
I didn't quite understand that. I guess you're the techie, but they've got a spaceship, so they're kind of already answering that. But no, there's a velociraptor kind of thing. Arm punches it. It's a fun little scene, to be honest.
I have instantly thought of Conan, because Conan punches a horse out in one of the movies. Yeah. But yeah. Apparently she broke her hand, because I love that right away cut to, I don't know what's happening. I've been feeling off lately. Yep. My mind's confused. And it's been going on for a while now, which could imply, that's why she shot the Gorn in the last season.
Hope that is that. Yeah.
I love it. It's like, are you going to try to take over the galaxy? I don't know.
Honesty.
What an answer.
It's a good answer. No, it's a good I mean, she's a really good character and a really interesting character, and you're not going to make her argument without playing that into the story in a meaningful way. So here we go, guys. Here we go.
Classic for real throws in $5. Did you see how certifiably in-game resurrected starships and Lore Reloaded came out with Q-Who videos all at the same time? Just interesting. Did not see that, no.
I don't know. Keep track of them that much.
And Susiguro 2000 throws in €5. And why did they need cryopods if they just wanted to travel to Mars and Earth? Maybe they were aiming for somewhere else and they were going to need the cryopods for a longer trip, and they just got shot down by the Martians. I don't know. It's a very good question. But no, I like this about her recessive augmented genes and all that. Like, this is a good conversation. This is going to play into her story arc for the season. We've called it since the beginning. Laan's going to die before the end of this show. So,
although I would put 3 Quatlus on. She gets really near that point, and we get to play that arc fully. And then the time she looks as if she's going to die, like a shuttle crash or something, and then the time agents beam her out, and we get a very small scene of her in the future, kind of like Corey and Will Wheaton Bilby on 29th Century Ship kind of thing. And it's just, we put upon a death, here you go, you're working for us. And then you have the Unlimited Khan spin-off show, and they could obviously cure in 3.3 seconds. Then you fucking rehire the guy from Relativity who fucking played a cop in the other one.
Yeah.
What was his name? Duquesne. Duquesne,
yeah.
Justice for Duquesne.
I like this this next part. It's like we got the iridium. You just don't want to double check or whatever. And Pike asks, "Are you concerned, Mr. Scott, or are you worried?" Just worried, sir, because worried's less than concerned. Um, I think that's great. But yes, they start powering up the ship, and they notice that the Martian ship is on a direct heading for the fifth planet. And she basically says, I have to do this. Yeah, because Captain, have you lost crewmates? Friends? Yes, many. Imagine those losses 1,000-fold. So, a wound on your planet that will never heal.
Oh yeah, it's pure drama, isn't it?
Yeah, it's good. It's really well done.
I'm kind of impressed that she even picks up to Pike, because she's not. Nothing you say can change her mind. She's literally committing suicide, destroying a planet, killing a race, saving a planet, possibly saving a future. The fact that she's willing to talk to him is such a brave and interesting thing to do. I know it's just there for the plot, but I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
But also Pike, mate. There's no fifth planet. You've had a day. You fully would know at this point that this has to. I'm really surprised Spock hasn't told him that at some point in the future that gets destroyed. I don't understand how he's not this smart. He totally is this smart. Because he's totally playing it as if I want you to stop. Until the moment he says, I'm going to not stop you. But he would have known hours ago this thing has to make sense. And Spock would have told him, it doesn't really make sense. I think less of him slightly. It's not that he fancies her or anything. He's not emotional. It's just he's dumb. But again, we need the reveal at the end. And again, no Doldrum defense forces, no ships, no mention. They've got no tech. I kind of wondered at this point in the episode, and I don't know if we're going to go into this. I wondered if everything's a red herring, not intentionally from the Martians, but I wondered if what happened to the planet wasn't that the bugs attacked, was that another race used the bugs as like a fighting force, crashed a ship with insects, and they attacked, and they're just a race of non-spacefaring people. And so the twist would be that they're just a planet of bugs. There's no tech. There's nothing there, and you just brutalize it. And then it feels almost like you're destroying innocence. I thought that was gonna be the twist. There'd be a third, like some other, like an implication of something else, because then at least it's like this is even harsher. But the way it's framed, like you can't let a planet of bugs live in our planetary orbit because it won't work for life. So second time I have no stakes here because of course everything has to happen.
Tasagiro 2000 throws in €5. Pike should have responded with, "Beh, we lost more people than live on your planet during the Klingon War." Captain John Taylor throws in £5, so thank you so much. Sorry, coming in late. If this has been covered, shame. No mention of the Zindi attacks when Cassell mentions the scar on the planet in Memorial to Millions. Yeah. Sam mentioned that yesterday as well, so.
And then she could have retorted saying, "Oh, a few hundred died. How quaint." So, well, okay. And still, insect was attacked our planet as well. Yeah, it would have been nice, but they don't really want to connect that canon too much. But then we get a pretty fast, but not too fast paced scene. I love the fact that they're so sublight that you can see the ship just go. There's no. It's kind of like the Last Jedi chase. It's just like, yeah, we're just popping over there at half impulse because no one's fast because it's in solar system, right? So they have launched the missile, which, given how far the missile is away from the planet, they obviously have no anti-missile defenses. There are no ships because that is so far from the planet that you know what I mean. That they clearly are defenseless as a race. So why not do this earlier? Why not bomb them earlier? I don't know. Why have they not attacked? If it just takes one ship, one bomb, why not? I don't know. Don't know. They don't
on the surface, but they're insects. They breed quickly, and you couldn't kill them all.
Also, you're no better than them because they attacked you, and then what if they thought that with you and blah blah. Who started this war, Stuart? Who started the war, right? All we're seeing is one side. But it is nice that the crew want to save everybody. but they should all be smarter than this, right? It has to go kablooey. It sucks, but have to.
Anyway, they can fire one photon torpedo, and it's like, should we fire? Should we fire? No. Captain. Yeah.
Okay, let's do it. Finish the poll. 44 votes. Did you see the twist of being ancient Earth coming? Surprisingly, closer than I thought. 57% say no, but 43% say yes. So it didn't fool everybody. Chuck, the Zindi attack hasn't happened yet. Yes, it happened like 80 years ago in NX era. Long time ago. It's ancient news. It's like 9/11. It's like it happened a long time ago. It's a big event of death.
Yeah. Happened during the NX era, which is 80 years before this. So anyway, planet go boom. And I love how there's like an implosion as well. And then it's like, we should get away from that. And it's like, no, Spock says, no, head into it. We can use the energy created to get home. Maybe. Can we do it before the ship explodes? I don't know. Maybe. Yeah. A lot of techno babble about snapping back and blah, 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 blah. But that's okay. And again, an alarm goes off on Erica's panel, and Scotty's like, there's a reason for that. And Pike's like, just turn it off. So that's going to come in important later in this season, I'm sure. $59 people here, 56 likes. Hit the like button, guys. Let's get those likes up to 60 if we can. Dan says, is this before the aliens in TNG chase put life in other worlds because they shot? No, they did that like a billion years before this.
Super far ago. I had a thought on... Yeah, no, great explosion. I mean, very JJ. Very, very, you know, red matters blue. Very dramatic and very quick as well. I mean, this thing is a true WMD. And as I said earlier, if it's genuinely creating a this is what they're saying, it's a supernova level destruction event, then canonically in Stranger Worlds, we have the ability to create supernova level destruction to any planet. And it is as easy as any pod of antimatter. It's nonsensical, right? You can't take it seriously, because it can't obviously make sense and obviously work, and the shockwave is so close to Earth, it would have destroyed Earth. There's no way it didn't. It's a supernova level power, and the radiation would have killed all of Earth as well as that's like they don't. It's too strong.
Well, everything on Earth pretty much dies. So,
well, sort of.
It was in conjunction with the meteorite as well. Classic for real though, $2. If Boimler stuck around, he'd mention Zindi, Voth, etc. Yeah, he's a nerd.
Sure. But I like going to the wave.
Turn her into the wave.
And this is where, you know, I kind of wish Pike had said something about I can't die because I'm immortal until I don't. Because it does take the tension. Well, he can't die until the chair, so he knows he can go into this wave and the ship will survive, he will survive. So it does kind of, you know, he can't have fear here for himself and for his ship and for him going out to the future. So, but also, you know, it's predestination anyway, so it takes the threat out. But, you know, big thing to do. And I'm not quite sure how they warp out without... Why are they warping? How are they warping? I thought they would just disappear or something. I don't understand why. Because they didn't warp here. How are they warping home?
Well, they did say they encountered a warp thing. They were trapped in a warp, whatever she said earlier. So they just recreated it. This is Spock did. He did calculations.
Oh. I think the VFX team just read warp in the script and said go to warp, but there's no reason to go to warp. But the asteroid's great. I mean, it's a bit on the nose, but that's because it's a bit on the nose.
Yeah, and then Spock's next line is, I determined that a fragment from the Doldrum planet. Yeah. It's the asteroid that hit Earth. The asteroid. This is just great. Because the planet disappeared, essentially. I mean, 4% of it became the asteroid belt. Uh, because there was no gravitational anomaly there as a planet, Earth and Mars both moved further away from the sun and cooled, which made life, well, human life possible. Yeah. Sasaguro 2000, €5. There should have been some discussion on how and if time travel affects Pike's own predestination. Yeah, I love this whole we were always here. Were we at risk of changing things or not? I mean, yes, you were if you'd fired. Yeah. It's a mind fuck is what it is. Um, we had to let all this happen. That'd be quite a ego stroke knowing you're responsible for the entire human civilization. And of course, later, April orders a top secret. So,
Yeah, it's they kind of undersell how important it is, right? It's like in Doctor Who. I think one episode they say the TARDIS started the universe, caused the Big Bang, right? Which means the Doctor started all life in the universe. It's quite an important thing. So the fact they started all life in it's quite big. But also, if it always happened, it's also a sense of, well, nothing's changed, right? And I was never, and I never really had a choice or a part in it. I was always doing it by being here, and no one, there was no choice. There was no, but yeah, and it means you can never remove Stranger Worlds from canon. You can never change Enterprise like TOS Colony. You can never any of these things because now all these things had to be here for them to go back in time and start the human race. You can never change time for TOS, pre-TOS. Nothing you can ever do can ever change the Stranger Worlds timeline. It's now the most concrete part of the universe. Otherwise, life would not exist. Right? So you've now got genuine. I mean, Pike as well. He's a fixed point, but like, this is now the central timeline point in all of Star Trek is Stranger Worlds, and that is now that's big, pretty ballsy of them. Let's be honest. Talk about safeguarding future people from moving from canon. You can't. There's no, there's no anything.
yeah. Anyway, Mbanga has a nice talk with him. Basically says that some Martians did survive because their DNA is in many different species. Yeah.
Now, one of the things I was hearing from some people was Pike did such a bad thing, he allowed 2 genocides to happen. Your thoughts?
I think that's stupid. That's all I have to say about it. I don't know why people have such a fucking problem with things. Like, grow up.
Yeah,
It's how it's supposed to be. They make a point of saying that it already happened, so it has to happen again.
Yeah, it's if people argue that are also saying that they want to undo everyone's lives forever, change a billion, trillion, quadrillion lives just to save 2 planets.
Needs of the many.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and also it already happened. Like this is the fundamentals. Every life you've ever known is because this already happened millions of years ago.
Yeah.
Not with you, but in fan films, I've often told actors like you're dealing with ghosts, and in Trek episodes, like if you're from the future, then well, this person's a ghost to you because they're it's already happened. There's nothing like you've been dead for 100 years. I'm not going to feel that sorry that you've died here because you already died for me for 100 years. Like you're not, you are a person, but you're not, there's a known thing. So yeah, silly point. But it's nice they got out. It means they developed warp drive and they got out, and that's nice. Good.
We get the April and Pike scene where he's like the Princess of Mars book. How prophetic, and I wish he could tell his dad that life evolved on Mars before Earth. And yeah, it's all got to be top secret. Oh, by the way, have you thought about your promotion? Yeah, I don't want it. But give me that promotion token. I'm going to give it to somebody else. That's not how promotions work, but okay.
Yeah, it's weird that. I guess in theory, Pike could get promoted and then quit.
And she'd get promoted to not fill in.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
Don't
It's
know.
a weird scene. I don't quite. So you can't turn down promote. Well, I guess you can. I mean, Riker did.
Hmm?
I guess they can insist, but he doesn't insist, right? I guess you can turn down an offer, but not if they're insisting. Hmm. I just love that. Well, I guess April's really nearby. Just like, you know, just happens to be here again. It's oh yeah, good to see you, April.
Here's this dialogue here. By the time the ensuing gamma ray burst had dissipated, the communication with the Enterprise had been reestablished. That's their story they're going with. And Pike says, "And what about us answering our own mayday from a subspace buoy we deployed 65 million years ago, one sent here by a storm that we created after it sent us back in time?" Yeah, I don't quite understand how that works, but it's fine.
They're saying it, so it happened. Did they think about it? No. And I'm kind of surprised that I go, we know the future. I guess so has Pike a little bit because he's seen at least a version of, you know, Balance Terror. I don't know why you would ever reveal this information to the public. Because
yeah, they don't.
Which is good. That will break so many people's brains to think that a Starfleet ship started everything. People can't handle that. It's not good. And also, when you get to the Temporal Cold War, if this wasn't a secret, then the Hitler guys would go back in time and stop Pike and therefore stop all of humanity. Right? Has to be a secret. You know? It's the easiest thing.
Sasagura 2005 euros. What would have been fun? They discover and accidentally release a doldrum pet from the cryopod, which happens to be some small mammal. Yeah. Well, yeah. I don't like that. Anyway, we get the promotion. I really thought she was going to get captain. I assumed she was a commander already, but apparently not. So she's commander, one step closer to captain. And yeah. Woohoo.
So there was no commander on the ship.
I guess not.
And Una's not a young officer. She's really not. And I guess that means in Cage she wasn't commander. Well, I mean, she can't be, otherwise it would make sense. Because surely if Pike's commodore, Una would get captain because she was commander. But no, very weird. As you said earlier, it's not like a token that you can just give. You should get promotion, Pike, and therefore I'm going to promote you. I mean, Pike, you could promote her last week. Nothing she did in this mission was that meaningful. I mean, anyone could have done what she did.
Yeah.
It wasn't impressive, but I guess he just felt like, someone should get promoted. It's a very odd scene.
Jill took a lesson from Janeway and said, "I never try to understand timey-wimey stuff. I don't enjoy doing that." Yeah, temporal mechanics. Hated it.
Yeah, I just worked really hard to have mine make sense. So, but you know, fine. Good follow-up Vulcan scene. It really rings true to every other Vulcan scene like this, Science Academy. It's so familiar. I kind of think I like that there's a trend, but it makes sense. And she doesn't say she dislikes being here. So it could have turned that way. She doesn't say I'm leaving. But it's like, yeah, I get why this is a really not good for me assignment. But, you know, bye-bye. Yeah.
Okay. Kind of like T'Lyn. It's just T'Lyn. Stranger Worlds T'Lyn is what it is.
Yep. She'll
probably be forgotten about in certain episodes, you know.
Well, she's like T'Lyn. Well, she's a comm ensign who's not on duty. No, she's a comm cadet who's not an ensign. It's like she I don't know what role she's gonna have. I kind of hope she's a Romulan spy or something. You know what I mean? That could be really fun.
Oh God.
Yeah, well exactly. That could be really fun.
Then we get Ortega saying, "Let's go talk about dinosaurs," and she runs into Spaghetti and it's freaking engineers or wrench jockeys, bloody pilots.
They're gonna beat each other up and then throw themselves down, start making out. It's like, I thought you hated me. I do. And then hard cut to 2 hours later, and then they that was a session. You know, yeah, they're gonna. Yep, which I'm fine with. Good for Ortega. So it's kind of a fun thing. Oh, thingy's got green. Yay, that's fun. I mean, mildly fun, but. And then dinosaurs at the end, with a flashback, and just, they got to appreciate the world, which we never got since they did, which I like.
Yeah.
And a very expensive CG shot that
Yeah.
kept going. Fucking hell. And it ends on
I
Jurassic Park.
appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, wasted in the sense of like didn't need it. Like probably 20 grand, 30 grand for the sequence. It's great though. Just because they wanted to end on Jurassic Park, you know. Yeah, it's cool.
Yep. Motherfucking T-Rex.
Yeah. Before he got, nuked by an asteroid. Rip. Oh, rip.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he did. Well, he's very dead, millions of years, but. And there we go, Stuart. Strange New Worlds is back! And very hard not to spoil the thumbnails, I'll be honest.
Yeah. You know what else is back? Your turn to vote. Well, not vote. Your turn to score via Super Chat or PayPal. I will read those after we give our final scores and reviews. And if you want to put in a little review of yourself, PayPal is a good option because it's 280 characters. You can put in something.
This is your chance. It's your chance.
And if you don't want to or can't afford to do PayPal or Super Chat, you can put it in the regular chat and we'll still read those out. Donnie already gave his like a long time ago, and last night he gives it a 7 out of 10.
Is that his lowest score ever? No, I'm serious. That might be his lowest score I've ever seen him give. He's normally 9 point something for every single episode, even if it's terrible. Wow.
Yeah, he was giving 9s and stuff to Discovery.
Yeah, so. Like every single week. Huh. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
Anyway, so yeah, throw in your Super Chat scores or PayPal scores. I'm excited to see what you guys think of this out of 10.
Yeah. And feel free to give point if you want to. We've got our thoughts. You've got your thoughts. We'd love to know. So, Stuart, are you ready for the question?
I want to say hi to Chuck first, because Chuck, remember, for 76 months, the regular lieutenant says hi, Stuart, Sam, and everyone. Hello, Chuck.
Good Hello. Very good to see all of our. We've been here a long time, guys. Very happy to see those that are still with us, because we like you guys. And Dan Ben is always here, who might also not be here. I don't know if you said Dan.
Yeah, he's here.
Yeah, there you go. I enjoy that. So, Stuart, what do you think of season 4, episode 1, and has our discussion changed your opinion? I guarantee it won't have. But has anything changed in our long discussion with possible plot holes found, etc., etc.? What we discussed about? Do you like it more or less, etc.? And then, of course, your final scores at the end of this. And we have, to remind you, we have enjoyment / quality score, and for all the Strange New Worlds. That's how we metric the individual seasons.
Perfect. You just can't let me enjoy anything, can you? You had to like rip so many plot holes through this thing. Didn't bother me at all. It ties in things I really love: dinosaurs, the fifth planet theory, the asteroid. It all just, and life on Mars. Like it spoke to me in a way that no other episode has, and I love how just it's clean. Yes, there's a lot of problems, a lot of holes in why things are happening, but I don't mind it. It's wrapped up in a nice package, and it's got a good pace, and it feels really good, and everybody's got something to do, and it's just,
you like its package.
Yes, absolutely.
Nice. And
it's just such a great episode that while there are a lot of plot holes, I get that, I still really enjoyed it. And did our discussion change my thoughts? Not really. You did bring up some plot holes I didn't necessarily think of, but the fact that I didn't think that they were plot holes is, after watching it 3 times, either says I'm really fucking stupid, or it was so entertaining that it didn't matter that there were plot holes.
It's what JJ, the first one, wanted to be. It's so quick and stuff happening that you don't think about it.
Yeah.
It didn't quite work. So where it's good enough to not worry about the problems is where it fits in your head, which is great.
Yeah. So what are our scores again? Sorry.
So the enjoyment / quality for this episode, and then all of Stranger Worlds only.
Enjoyment, it's 10 for me. 10 out of 10. Absolutely love this episode. For all the Strange New Worlds, I'll give it a 9.8 because of the plot holes. I think it's probably the best episode of Stranger Worlds for me.
Yeah, we joked earlier.
I just love the implications of it. Like
The
everything that
implication.
came after is because of Pike and crew, and I just think that's awesome. So
The implication.
yeah.
And it's funny, guys, we talked about this yesterday, but this is a solid 10 from Stuart across the board. So we got him down to a 9.8. Wow.
And Jill, yeah, says it made me happy, so I'm very forgiving. Exactly. Me too.
Yeah, I've got to be fair on everything, even if I enjoy it, because otherwise, when we do complain about things, and then, that's just me, right? That's me.
Yeah, and I don't give anything that high, really. I do
No.
tend to score higher.
Yeah.
But that's because I'm a nice guy.
Yeah, this really tickles Stuart in the right place. This is the tickle me Elmo of Stuart's, which is great.
Yes.
We've all got one. If we get I mean, it'll be for you as well, but it's like Intimate Darky, right? That tickles me in a way that's so special that it kind of hits in a unique way.
All right, let's read some of your scores. Solaris, long hauler rail fan, throws in $5 and says, "Could you imagine a T-Rex on the bridge of the Enterprise?" No, I could not. Next, Sasagiro 2000 throws in €2.
Thank you.
I didn't like that everything on Earth was orange. Well, it was a lot warmer planet back then, different atmosphere.
Did you see the volcanoes?
The sun. Yeah, exactly.
Stuff's gonna happen. Volcanoes spewing ash every second of the day. A lot of volcanoes.
Sasagiro 2000 throws in €5.
Thank you.
Says, "I'm giving it a 6 out of 10. Fine, but incredibly sloppy."
Ooh.
Classic for real, $2. Need more Boimler to reference Zindi and Voth stuff out of 10.
He always has very specific scores, doesn't he?
Yeah. We got BJ Turon, who throws in $2.50 on PayPal.
Thank you.
If Section 31 wants to destroy Kronos, all they have to do is land a warp ship and deactivate antimatter containment. Down one Klingon homeworld, or just take a shuttle down with the antimatter.
I mean, they can't do that in Discovery anyway.
And then BJ puts in another $1 and says, 6 out of 10. Antimatter bothers me. Turns Enterprise into a Death Star.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm fine. They do. Actually, we forgot to mention this. They do mention explicitly in the dialogue the antimatter and the planet's core explodes. Sorry, there wasn't a dialogue. So it's not the matter antimatter. It reacts to this specific planet, which makes it bigger. So it's not I mean, obviously it blew up and it could probably blow up a planet, but the reason it was what it ended up being is because of this specific planet and the way it was. There is that in the dialogue. It's sloppy, but that is in the dialogue.
And DUI Champ says, "I thought the courtroom episode, the zombie episode, and the Mbanga murder episode were much, much better." That's fine, just that you think that. Like I said, this one spoke to me in a way because of Fifth Planet theory, the Martian life on Mars theory,
Don't be defensive. You like what you like.
The asteroid belt theory.
You got this,
exactly.
Man. You got this.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
It spoke to me in a way, so yeah.
Because we both disliked the zombie episode in general, because it was a really poorly done zombie episode for us.
Yeah.
Like, properly poor. Court was great, but...
Yeah. Michael Skyro says, "Chef's kiss the shuttle landing ramp." Hell yes. 100%. All right. It's time. Sam, what did you think of this episode now that we've talked about it and you've driven trucks through and starships through plot holes the size of galaxies? Is it just a 4 out of 10 for you?
We'll find out. I haven't formed my final opinion. Yeah, it's a roller coaster. It was a very different watch first and second. It's a different review experience with you when you break down each scene, because you are not meant to spend 5 minutes reviewing 14 seconds of a film or a TV. You're not meant to do it. So things don't hold up often. And I often say in this show, the more you try and do, the chance of it working is less. They try and do the big time swing and they drop the ball constantly, but in the format of the show, they're small balls that they're dropping not very far. There's other episodes where there's like a giant at the end. It's like, oh, that really messed up, right? So it's a very different kind of thing. But the acting's great. Pacing is weird, but it works. The ending is strong. The reveal's strong. The CG's great. The fact that nothing matters, but it gives you a really interesting insight is good. But Pike is not very smart this episode. However, you could also argue he's overworked missions. He's not in his right frame of mind in general, so you could probably argue that as well. And
it's set up right at the beginning, so yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. There's so much that you can kind of pull stuff in. But I sense the setups and I like it. Laan and the Vulcan lady, I appreciate the work. It's dense, it's big, it's bold, it's shouty, it's indulgent with the T-Rex, but no particular way. For me, there's no particularly amazing bit, but there's certainly no bad bit except the first 13 minutes, but it was much better on second watch. Much better. First watch, it was a mess, and I was mildly annoyed by it because it was not a well done 13 minutes. But when you know every scene's important, and you know everything links, and you know all the setup, and you know what's going to happen, then you watch entirely differently, and it's much better. And all media is always going to be online, so 90% of the population are always going to be second, third, fourth, fifth watch of this episode, right? You're never going to have that first watch again, so that's not the one you kind of should rely on, because obviously, you know, and also when the season comes out, like, we're the only people in history, Stuart, that will ever experience this as a, what's going to happen with Arn? We don't know. Because as of 12 weeks from now, there'll always be a Googleable answer, right? So we are this microcosm. Not the best episode of Stranger Worlds by a mile, because it's doing a lot more, less good, but it's definitely a really strong start to the season. I really appreciate what they were doing, and it was a fun ride, and definitely better on second viewing, which is great. Score wise, I feel like for me, I want to give 8s across the board. I feel like I want to give it a solid 8 and re-rank at the end of the season. I would be fine to give it for all Stranger Worlds like 8.5, like up it, but we'll see what the season is, right? But I think it's top 20%, 100%, no issue with that. But they should have done a film parcel in the script to kind of refine the plot holes a bit, because as you said, there were way more. But yeah, just solid 8, really good. And let's be honest, that's better than a lot of last season, right? Let's be honest. So already we started really strong, but not like the best they've done. But that's a high bar anyway. You know, it's like That's Terror episode was like a 9 point something. That's just right until some bits at the end. But yeah. There you go.
Excellent. All right, you want to read some of the non-chat super chat scores?
I would love to. And there's still 45 of you here. There's still a poll. Vote in the poll as well. It's an interesting poll, so go vote.
Hold on. Before you get to that, DUI Champ throws in $5.
Here we go.
How many planets were destroyed by starships from 1967 to 2005? Seems like a new trope. Good question.
Well, it was more expensive back then, so...
Yeah. And BJ also throws in another $1 on PayPal and says, it spoke to Stuart like how Star Trek 5 speaks to me. Yeah, and I also like Star Trek 5. It's a guilty pleasure of mine for a lot of reasons.
Yeah, and the problems aren't the film, they're the budget, the time. Shah's a good director. He was given a shitstorm when you look at it as the top, you know, everything together.
Yeah.
So no super chat scores. Let's see what people think. And thank you guys for the super chats. You really made a difference, guys. And obviously, John on PayPal.
Yes.
Like, we need the stuff right now, and you guys have roses to it. So please come back next week. Same thing again to be real good. All right. I want to see the scores. I'm really interested. I'm voting the poll. All right. Let's start with Devo 9 out of 10. Sean 9 out of 10. Jason 8 out of 10. Joseph solid 9. Chuck 8.5. Hypno 9. This was a good fun sci-fi romp to start the season. Yep, 100%. Michael, I have to get a 9.8 out of 10, but Grant 7.25 out of 10. And then Stanley's 6 or 7 out of 10. J D Palm 8 out of 10. There you go.
And no, Jill, he hasn't. Jill asked, did Sam ever give an episode a 10?
Yeah, I mean, Measure of Man, Yes Enterprise. A modern Trek? Yeah, there's a couple, but that's the point. It's like the ultra. The reason it's an ultra, right? It's like the ultra platinum score. Do I have my season 3 scores still? What was my? In season 3, I gave 1, 2, 3, 3 9s. So, you know, still some high. You gave 1, 2, 3, 4 9s. So that's why I have access to right now. Yeah.
And General Grievous gave us 7 out of 10 Boimler screens.
Nice.
Nice.
A useful metric indeed. No, well done. Good, strong start to the season. Well done, Stranger Worlds. I'm glad it was a long episode. I hope we continue having long episodes because you are cramming a lot in. And as you said, the biggest takeaway is over half the trailer has been eaten up. So we've now got stuff to go.
Unless they revisit that planet in the opening sequence, because they named it. They said they've been there 4 or 5 times. I have a feeling there still might be a Western episode, but I hope not. So.
Yeah. Good stuff. Well, have a great weekend, guys. Enjoy. I'm doing my cast party tomorrow, so wish me luck. Got a few things planned for that. Enjoy our Saturday release. It's another ship question. Have fun with that. And the closing poll, 41 votes. Did you think Pike was right to allow the planet to be destroyed? Which, otherwise known as timeline to happen. 90% say yes, and 4 people say no. There you go.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, guys. You're all amazing. And
Thank you, John.
Look forward to seeing you next week and supporting us for Stranger Worlds content, because we're going to keep doing it. But we need the support. So come and join us and just be here hanging out with us and help us
say stuff. We love the interaction. You guys, you just saying things in the chat makes a difference. And 55 you here. Great. Be here next week.
Yeah. So until next time, he's Commander Cockings.
He's Captain Foley.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Thank you, Pike.